Hey guys, welcome to the close. Couple hours left in the trading session. Very red one, unfortunately. We come all the way back and then some after a very nicely positive day yesterday. About 2% now, in fact, for the NASDAQ to the downside. We're off the lows here. I'll give you a look at where we're at the moment. There it is, 1.94. Remember, we finished the day up yesterday exactly 2%, 2.01%. 0.36 there for the Dow, the S&P 0.85. Back to the downside. More inflation talk from the Fed scaring the market back into negative territory here. Crude oil hanging on 0.32% to the downside after a bit of a move early on as well. Yeah, Bitcoin not faring too well today. Also, I mean, it could be obviously a lot worse. There's the board. There is still some green on this board. Down here, healthcare stocks holding in positive territory. Moderna, though, getting hit. They lost an order for more COVID-19 vaccines today. Energy stocks are weak, all in the red. Mosaic standing out there 3.3% to the upside. We did talk a little bit about some coal stocks. The EU banning Russian imports of coal. So some of the resource names having a pretty good day so far. Boeing, I just saw 4.3%. Some delivery data came out about 11 o'clock on Boeing this morning, sent that thing back to the downside. UPS off 4% as well. So it's one of those days. It's all about tech stocks, though. The entire group pretty much in the red. Consumer discretionary names also in negative territory down here. We did have CCL on watch this morning after record bookings for them. So CCL, NCLH, I don't even see RCL. Oh, there it is. Very, very tiny in the corner there. It is actually still positive, but only just. Yeah, the NASDAQ here faring a little worse even. Moderna, 6% now to the downside. Some of the Chinese names under pressure as well. So one of those days, basically the exact opposite of what we were talking about this time yesterday. We had a pretty good afternoon yesterday, but back to the downside here. Hope you're doing well regardless. Lots of opportunities to come. We're going to take a few minutes to review what was available at the open this morning. We discussed a whole bunch of potential opportunities and trade ideas. It was all about Twitter this morning. It was all about Elon this morning. We'll get into that and more right after Neil takes us through one of his trades.
Thank you. We're going to talk some NEO today. Look, we had two multi-day breakouts with a catalyst today. One was Carnival Cruise Lines. The other was NEO. Now, sometimes we show winning trades, but it's always instructive to go over some of your losers here. And there was everything about the setup that I liked. They're going to be potentially licensing out their battery swapping technology, and that's the positive catalyst. You had a strong move to the upside with a consolidation, showing you the 60-minute chart here. So you had this 2390 double top, and if you go back even to the daily chart, you're getting a double top breakout. So very similar to what we're looking at with CCL and NIO. The key thing with the breakout trade is you have to understand you're trying to take the trade because you're entering a new price area. Like, you have had a rejection of that level, higher lows, trend continuing upside, nice consolidation on the higher time frame, and then you are looking for it to be a new territory. When it's gapped up into that range, I'm not in a breakout trade. I'm actually in the consolidation higher. You come in the morning and we're sitting above that 24 mark. So it's a little bit different than setting stop order break 24, stop order break 2390. In this case, NIO is doing volume. So we get into it off of the consolidation at 24, knowing 2390 is our target zone. That's what we're breaking away from. We scalped some out at the high of the day and probably made a mistake not getting more shares out here. And the reason why that's a mistake is often when NEO specifically, and Xpeng does the same thing too, Li Auto as well, when they have delivery numbers, a lot of times you will see them in an upward trend and then they sell the new. So in this case, it had the same setup, and you usually want to take a little bit more profit out at those highs of the day or those even numbers, quarters, 50s to the upside. We do take some out, and when it comes back to our 24 price, we're going to jump into the same consolidation level. And here's where you have to try to remain disciplined, right? If I was showing you a 1 or 3 minute chart and how many times we looked at a tight consolidation, you get a break, a rejection, cannot get past the first or second level or very far, and then a rejection of that level and it snaps back down. A false break is one of the worst situations to get caught in because you can have a monster reversal. So when it gets below that 2390, we got right out of it. And the key thing here was even before in the trade. When we followed our prep in the morning, said, gonna jump out of this trade at 23.90. If it can consolidate next level down, we'll give it a second shot. And if you have a quick look at it, we had this 23.50 area here, and then you had about $23. That's like your target area zone where I think there's a shot for a bounce if we're going to try to continue that move. So we do drop down into the 23.50 area. It can't hold the level. We see it fail again, and we just simply get out and we try the consolidation bounce. You have to be able to take your outs here. Not going to get stubborn about the breakout. Once it's a false break, the only thing that we can do differently is try to work a short position. Now, obviously, a lot of times I'm going to want to short off of this area here, back into that 23.90, into that 24. Once it's reversed that trend and gone through that second level, it never presented itself. There was one shot for this rollover. By that time, there was so much else that was working that made more sense to jump into. If you're only focused on NEO here, that's your consolidation level where you have a chance to be able to reverse. But the key thing is do not get caught. You can love the catalyst. You can love the breakout. You can love that price area. Maybe it's a top from like a year ago as well, and you just absolutely are in love with that price. It doesn't matter. Even if it's an A+ setup, you've got to be able to take it out when it doesn't work. Nothing works 100% of the time. You've got to control where you are wrong and accept it. The only thing you can possibly do is find a reversal in that trade through a key price. You saw NEO only go down. This is how we're able to dodge some bullets. Hold on to what works, like Carnival. Make sure you take it off when it doesn't, like NIO.
Yeah, going to be interesting afternoon here. A lot of charts looking like that NIO chart right now. Back to the downside, obviously, off of what seemed to be very, very positive news that was on the watch list this morning, guys. That is the link. If you want it every single day, absolutely free to you. We do all your homework, put it in one spot. You come join us then at 8:30. We walk you through all of it. CLSN, Celsion, just out with some positive data on one of their trials right now. Back to $6 here, a huge level on the daily chart. So CLSN doing a little volume. Wanted to mention FB as well. Meta back to positive here, even with the market weak. Just saw this note. Canada, guys, introducing some legislation to compel Facebook, Google to pay for news from this country. If you remember going back to, I want to say last year, it might have been 2 years ago, Australia did the same thing, and there was a lawsuit forcing them to do the same thing. So Canada, the next one here.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know any of the news here about Meta, but yeah, we've been really hitting this thing long recently. We talked about it in the chat there when Neil was doing the review a little bit, in that Facebook strong, AMD weak, and yeah, we just waited for it to come back to VWAP. And I heard Trader Brad talk about having different setups and things like that. Sometimes you wait for these plays, it comes right back to VWAP. Right here, we waited for a basing out here. We thought we found one at 233. That was a good trade up to 235. Comes back in right here. We took the long again at 233.40, and now we're in the money, $1.20 on the last little bit of this trade. So look, Facebook, I mean, it continues to work. We talked about why we like this name. It's been strong for a while. Yesterday, pretty strong to the upside, big bump ups. Big move up to 237 today before falling back in to this 231 area. So we'll just play the strength right now. I don't have any targets for this to get out. Maybe back up to 235.20, something like that into here, especially if the market rallies. But there it goes. Facebook buying off VWAP straight to the upside. And yeah, man, we like the stock. I've liked this for a while. I was a buyer down sub 200, and yeah, that's really paid off. I mean, this is a 20-minute chart, so you're going to go back. Hopefully, this loads. I mean, you can see just the kind of tear that Facebook has been on. I mean, even if you go back, this is March 15th here. I mean, I know we're cherry picking the bottoms. I don't even know if these are the bottoms, but 186 right there, just straight upside, man, up to 234. So that's like $50 almost in a straight line every day. So nice little move up for Facebook. So nothing really surprises me with this guy. And then AMD, let's take another piece out right now just to give you an update. We just shorted AMD again off that 107.40 there. Now we'll see if it can come back down. We keep taking some out, getting stopped out, getting back in. So yeah, we're just kind of massaging some of these trades. We like Facebook long and AMD short.
Yeah, I mean, there's no discounting Facebook's strength. The only thing I'm sort of looking at right now with the market weak is this double top at 235. You look, you have a wick higher on the 15-minute chart. It stands out a little bit better when you look at that 235 level. So if it gets back up there and we're rejecting that, I think there's a chance to maybe short that stock. And look, there's a lot of things moving. I got TKT long, believe it or not. And DDL is also making some moves. So we have plenty of things that are on the move this afternoon, which have our attention. DDL, CLVS, TKT, as I mentioned right there. As a matter of fact, I'll go over to TKT just because Sean already knocked out Facebook, and he's in Facebook already. Come on, chart, give me a break. All we had in TKT here was a nice consolidation, and I'll quickly show. Like, it failed to break out today. Strong move, but found support sort of right at yesterday morning's pre-market support level at 330. So you like that base. It broke out from those prices before. We get the breakout today at 350, and then it decides to support 350 on the way back down. So when I find these consolidations, it's like, okay, you get it holding that morning and then making the break. That's the only level to work off of when it starts to come back here. I don't know if it's going to be able to get through 380. That's why we just rang the register there a little bit in front of the pre-market highs. Also where it closed, right around that 390. So just below there, going to take some out. If it can get through VWAP, I think 4 is a pretty reasonable target. Yeah, back at 420, I'm likely to try shorting it if it gets closer to that high. But playing inside of the range, man, that's the way to go. When things are either breaking out and giving you new chances or you're playing a trend in the other direction, this one gave some pretty good support. And it's easy to see the clusters of support on the stock. And when it puts the breakout from those prices, like it lines up pretty well here for the last couple of days on the 3.
The biggest story, obviously, today going to be Elon and Twitter. It's Elon's world. We just all live in it. Twitter giving Elon a board seat, if you missed it this morning, and saying you can be on the board, but you can't own more than 15% of the company. So effective as of their meeting this year through to 2024, Elon gets a board seat. 9 months after that is when he's limited to only 14.9% ownership, guys, of Twitter. The question, I guess, what can he do between now and 2024 with Twitter?
I don't know. I mean, what do you do with Twitter? I mean, all we did early on was just get in, and it was a pretty easy trade early on in the day when we played that momentum to the upside. And I honestly thought that, I even talked about it in my own account. I put an offer at 55.50, thinking that we would for sure get there. Like, my theory was that once 9 a.m. hit, or not 9 a.m., 9:30 hit, and options started to get bought, I really thought that they would get bought to the upside, but it looks like people just took profit again. Traders, I guess, took profit all the way down. So we have an early take here, and it was a good trade, man, at 8:15. We took a break of yesterday's high. So if you just check this out, yesterday's high right into here, 51.40. We actually got a little lower than that, 51.25. So we take that break early, and then it rips all the way up to the upside. So that was like $3.50. Then it came back in, and we tested out here again at 53. Didn't work. We got out at 52.85 there. It worked for a little bit and then out. We just have winning trades on Twitter today, but we haven't traded it again since that very first half hour of trade. But it seems like, and again, now that I look at this for the first time, I guess, in the afternoon, I've just been so busy with Facebook and AMD. They've been really treating me well. But right here, $51, I think, is going to be a spot, obviously, where if you're going to look long, you might as well wait. Buying and selling shares in here right now doesn't make much sense to me. It's jumping around. You're in the 50 period, and you're just kind of hovering. You have VWAP all the way up here. I don't know about getting up to 53 again. But, I like the long, and if you want to be patient with it, I think you got to wait till like 51, 51.20, something like that in here. Let it drop back down, and that way when if it does come out, that's going to be 40 cents worth of a risk. So again, you go long 51.20, you're out maybe 50.80. That's 40 cents, and then the upside is at least 40 cents. So that's why I like that. But for me, for Twitter, I want to see like some sort of a flush or something, or a rip up, something like that. For right now, it's just kind of hovering around, which I don't really like, especially when you're doing 180 million shares. Like, I don't know, it's going to break one way or the other, and for right now, I don't have a good read on which way, so I'm going to hold on to Twitter because I am a bull on this name, so I don't want to go short, so I have to wait for it to base out, and I just feel like it hasn't done that until we get closer to 51.
And I don't mind shorts, and I wouldn't short it here. And look, it's like Sean said, like when it's making that kind of a consolidation in that kind of a range with 180 million, the algos are loving it, and it's a tricky trade for everybody else. Now that 55 where it got to, you can see it on the daily chart. I think we did talk about this level yesterday on the way up, and there were certain places that were obvious where it ran into and then ran away from that price range. And it got that top today. Obviously, I wish I had shorted that at the open. DWAC, well, I'll get to DWAC in a second, but that seemed like the easier and lower hanging fruit. If you look at the 15-minute chart, this price area looks a little bit more clean, 51 to 51.5, to try and take some kind of a breakout or a roll to the downside. However, allow it to break away from this price range. If it bounces from here, there should be some upside. Like that is your double top break, which you already got this morning, and now you're consolidating off that level. If it takes it back out, you could be down to that 50 level at least, if not 49. Sitting in the middle, I don't think that's going to be necessary when it's chopping around. It's not going parabolic at this time. DWAC was the other end of the coin. Like if you believe Elon's going to change things around here, I'm not saying DWAC is competition. We were looking it up. They had, 500,000 users? Daily active users compared to 300 million. So I'm not saying that they're competition now, but a lot of the hype was sort of truth turning into like a better version of Twitter and other social media programs. So, when Twitter was strong, DWAC was very, very weak, and it just rolled right through yesterday's bottoms. And you can see, like, it was worth holding past 50. The only excuse for covering a trade at 50 was what that level looked like on the daily chart. Like if you went back, it had so much support off the 50 level going back into late last year, and how it doubled up from that breakout. But once it got through, like it almost should have been its own trade, breaking the 50 level and then taking it down to 47. It's been falling like an absolute rock and showing no signs of even catching a bid. Like if you look at the level 2, there's nothing on the bid of DWAC even right now at the lows.
Just having a look at Peloton, was back to day lows as well, back below 26. There was some rumors being passed around on the online, is what I'm trying to say. But a camera, guys, for PTON, so heads up on Peloton. There was a volume spike on that, but it looks like it didn't really do much. Let's talk about NIO. Once again, you heard Neil's take there off the bat, talking a little bit about the battery swap technology and the potential of them licensing that business in other markets. They specifically referred to Europe as a potential test. Unfortunately, this gets met with a bit of a weak move in the overall market.
Yeah, I mean, we have Neo Long here on our sticky note today, and we liked it. We said, back to the 23 support level. So that's pretty much what we did. We were going long all day on this name. We did have all morning. We did have a couple good trades, but then obviously it dipped down. Our last one was right there, 23.30. We tried to get it in defense, and then honestly, even though it didn't break 23 on all these pops, we got some out. So some out at 20, some out at 15, and so on, and then all of a sudden, boom, takes this out to the bottom and then keeps going. We tried another long back into here. I'm wondering if it's going to be a long at some point today. We've already bottomed out a couple times here at 22.50, so that could be a good indicator. We're at the 50 period right now. Look, I thought NEO was going to be strong off this 23 level. We hit 23 yesterday or 2 days ago. That was the top before fading. 23's been the top, so I figured like if it was going to be some kind of resistance, then maybe it turns itself into support. I guess that was wrong, but now we'll watch to see where it goes from here. So yeah, excited to trade NEO, but today definitely now it's the only losing stock I have while AMD is still in the red, but we've done really well to make back a lot of money on AMD. But I'm thinking about breaking this right now. Maybe the trend does change here, and we can use 60 or so as our out. So let's test another little long on NEO, but look how easy this thing falls. So I don't know, man. There's probably bigger fish to fry here than NIO, but yeah, maybe it's made a bottom, maybe it hasn't. I think we'll leave it alone for now. Bad read for me today on NIO. But again, get out of the way. Good thing we didn't hold it all the way down here. And then we messed with it here and lost a little bit more. So NIO just still remains a little confusing to me. I thought it was good news. And the market down 2%, I guess, doesn't help this name.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add is I showed the double top from yesterday, but if you go back on the daily chart, it was really a triple top. You go back into March 30th, and it had the same high at 23.90. That's why the significance to that price. At this point, given that it's a failed break, it almost has to come back to 22, the 50 period, and maybe bounce off there. I'm going to stay away from the long, but while just as we were talking there was a spike up on 10H just now. I know Trader Pratt in the midday show was talking, or at least I think I heard him talking about this one, or people in the chat were mentioning it. So that went parabolic just after the open, but it got like midday right to about 70 cents, pulled back into 60. I love the symmetry, right? Like 70 to 60, bouncing again, puts in a 69 lower high. I was then on the offer like 68, 67, actually 69 as well, trying to catch that rollover. And just now, when it was at 65, there was one spike up that picked me up at 67. So if you know the levels you like, I mean, stop at 70 there and shorting 67, 68, 69, try and get an average of 68, 68 half. I was able to get some of it at 67, and then it just goes right back into 65. So going to ring the register there. If it does continue to fall, I want to be all out in front of 60. It's, you know, it's a bit of day one move, and it's still a bit of a trend to the upside there. But 10H, nice level. That spike is almost fortuitous. Like someone just hit the buy key and took out a few levels, and there wasn't anything on the offer till 68. Like 68 is the next big size. It's a few thousand on every other level. 68's got about 40,000, so it can move up there in a bit of a hurry.
There's a halt on BKI, which is Black Knight. I was just seeing that they're said to explore a potential sale following interest. I was going to try and find who's interested, but a big move here for BKI. Just went 59 up to 65.5, guys, on some buyout rumors.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, it looks.
I mean, I always want to know more because
60. I don't even know this name.
Black Knight.
Black Knight.
Tis but a scratch.
Black Knight.
know the Black Knight.
That, yeah, that's that. No, but it's also that golfer. Remember the Black Knight? We talked about that.
Oh,
Tom.
the guy that you guys said I was like him. It was
Oh my God! Now
he's like all hunched over.
I'm in Masters mode too, and I can't believe I don't know who this is.
Oh, for the love of.
Okay, I'm searching it right now. Gary Player.
Gary Player.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. By the way, Will Zalatoris, your 2022 Masters champion.
Okay, so usually, like every now and then, you guys will say like I'll be like, oh yeah, I know who that person is.
You don't know who Will Zalatoris is.
I have no idea who that is.
We'll see if it's. Or I see Cam Smith off his last victory there, putting really well. Has a good chance for that one. All right, do you want to say anything about BKI? I was going to go back over to CCL, but
all I would say is whenever there's rumors of a deal and you get a spike like this, unless you have a firm like this is what potential price or what a premium's looking like in that particular space, you can start making some notions here. Otherwise, I just start thinking about like where would you fade it. I don't know where support will be. Maybe like obviously you can look back to where it's consolidating. If it were to fall back to 62 with a 50 period, sure, like that, something like this, or it gets up to like a 68 to 70, you might be fading it. But outside of that, you need more detail. So we'll keep our ear to the ground. The volume has picked up quite a bit, so it is going to be on our watch. There's no question about it. We have to make sure. You know, you're trading what moves at the end of the day. That's the only reason I went to this 10H, by the way, which is dropping into VWAP. It's not as thick to stock as you would expect for a penny stock, by the way. Just I would trade it, at least, not trade it cautiously, but a lot of times if it's doing like 50 million shares, you do expect to see a little bit more on the bid ask. Like it just dropped into 63 because a couple of bids pulled on it. So as quickly as it can go up, this might be back at 60 in a hurry.
Just quickly, I'm long Facebook, but it's falling apart here, even though the market's not really. So watch out. We're going to use that little wick as a bottom there, 233.79 or so to get out. I mean, we're 70 cents in the money. This was $1.50 in the money when we started the show, but right now, for some reason, it's coming back in. It really has absorbed this market move. So the fact that it's coming in this strong is a little strange. We want to get out of Facebook here. Right now, there it is. We're gone. And then now we'll just see good win for me on Facebook. We gave a little bit back there. Yeah, right now, market pulling back in. Facebook not strong, weaker than I thought it would be. We did get stopped out of our last AMD trade here. It hasn't really been great here so far, but we really switched up AMD, and we talked about that earlier. And I mean, one of my big tweets that we sent out, first of all, we can talk about the Masters menu in a second as well, because we like our food around here. But there we go. Earlier on, man, is AMD, we're going to talk about that? Oh, we are in a minute. So actually, you know what, Brendan, let's save this for the rundown and keep the fans or the viewers waiting.
Up into CCL then. We were talking this morning in the pre-market, guys, about CCL and a record week for bookings.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second.
Oh, sorry, Brendan.
That's okay.
The difference between CCL and NEO is that it worked. Right, like you had the same thing. You had a catalyst, you had a multi-day level break. This is $20.60 on your daily chart. There was room to next level up on the daily at that 21.50, and you even had that 20.60 just load up. It gives you pre-market high as well, and when it got taken out, like, you're in it pretty early because it takes it out pretty early, but it even gave you a second reload. That's on the 15 minutes. I'll show you what it looks like on the one. Like, it broke the level before 8 o'clock, but then it gave you the reload after we came on air at 8:30 again, and it gave you scalps to the high of the day. Then it broke out. It got to that 21.50. It's pretty simple. The trade's off the daily chart. The target's off the daily chart. There was one dip down into 21 when the market was trying to catch a bit of a bottom. ES was at support, so did try that. It tried to go back up through 21.25, couldn't do it, gave up the ghost. If that long was off of 21 and ES support. When both broke, I wasn't trying to rehunt any of those levels. So the key to that is, like, when it works and these trades based off the chart, work out, you make sure you capitalize. But when they don't, like NIO is a very similar setup. It just did not have any run or follow through. It pulled right back in. Sure, CCL is now back at 20, but everything about it otherwise went right to your target.
All right. I see some talk about share size and stuff like that, and I'll explain that in a second here. We are long right now. Facebook, again, just off that bottom. Let's see. I'm just wondering if the market here, and again, maybe I'll zoom in a little bit for you guys. Just wondering if the market does resist a little bit here. It did touch that. We're getting near to 15,000 on the upside now here today. So let's see if we can retest that using this bottom of 60 one more time. And I don't know. We got back in. I mean, this was a winning trade. It's just it came out there. Let's see if it goes back up to the upside. CCL, of course, a great stock for me today as we went long right off the open, man. We pick out that 20.55, ripped it all the way to 21.30, then got out our last piece. I was still waiting up here, so that's why it's purple. That's not a short. Our last out is where we got in. So CCL, a great trade today, and this is upside move. And again, so just people are asking about, like, how could you actually make money only getting 50 cents? Well, remember, unlike a lot of you traders probably there, we're trading with severe leverage basically. And it's just the fact that we're on a prop floor. So we don't trade our own money, we're trading company money. So we're responsible to push this money in and then pull it back out. And we get a percentage of what we wind up making. So that would explain, I hope anyways, to a lot of you why, we'll celebrate 30-cent wins, 50-cent wins, things like that. Like, it's not, if you're going to trade your own money and you're trying to make like $1,000 a day and maybe you're trading with $50,000 worth of buying power, yeah, sure, you're going to have to go over to that SB, FM, and you're going to have to go over to some of these other plays because honestly, you're not going to be able to take as many shares. Like here on Facebook, to me, it's not even, first of all, why don't I have an out there? It's not even about share size. I don't even care about how many shares I take. Like right here, I'm going to offer, see if I get some out at 98, and then see about going, just rips right through me. So right there, that's 15-cent win. Okay, now we'll hold the rest for the upside. So I don't even look at, how much money is in the account or anything to buy position. I just look and say, is this a risky spot for me? And if it is, how much money do I want to expose myself there? And so on and so forth. So that's why, like right now on Facebook, right? If you put to work here, like, again, even if you have 100 shares times $234, like that's 200 grand. Like you're going to have to put in. You're not going to want to make 30 cents on that trade like I'm making right now, right? That's not going to be enough for your exposure, let alone we don't pay any fees. We're actually have market making abilities where we get paid to trade, meaning that if we use a gateway like ARCA or NASDAQ or BATS or something like that, you actually get roughly $2 per 1,000 shares for sending it into the market, right? And a lot of you know that it's the maker-taker model. And we also have gateways that will charge you to use them, that you'll get filled a little bit easier on. So there's these games being played back and forth. Neil and I, obviously, 20 plus years experience for myself. And it's just like, for us, it's natural. But that's the whole point. Yeah, don't worry, Neil, I won't say how old we are. But that's how we will, manage our trades. And when you see Neil, like, in and out of something.
I've been trading for 3 years, Sean.
Yeah, Neil's only been trading for about 1.5 years.
25 years old.
Yeah, something like that. I thought it was like 28 or so. But anyways, needless to say, I hope that explains a little bit of the trading that we do here. And someone said, do I want to challenge, what what's that guy? I forget. I'll have to. It's Day Trade Warrior or whatever. I just say bring it. Oh, Ross. I say bring it on because I'm like The Rock. Let's go, bring it.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned SBFM, by the way. I wrote this stock off. Like maybe 3 hours ago, I wrote this stock. I thought it was pretty much dead. I did trail out of it, but it's held $5 all afternoon. And whenever there's a gapper that tries to roll over on the morning, and it rolled over at 650, you saw it battling 650, and it's held that higher low pretty much the entire time. It is set up for a potential break. Volume could be better, that's for sure. Like, I'd love to see like start to pick up. You guys can see the volume down there. It's really not picking up. If it can start to get better, this 570, 575 VWAP here does set up decently for a breakup. Maybe give it to the higher low at 540, at least for now. But it should be back on the radar. Anytime you don't get a complete capitulation, here, and then we get to 230, get to power hour, yeah, man, if it ran before, it can run again. Also keep in mind, this is essentially day one for this. Better show it here. This is like a day one type of play. As you saw with Longeveron, right? Or I think it was Longeveron. Sometimes you get that day two, day three type of move. So even if it can consolidate, this should be on the radar as long as it's above that $5 mark. It has a chance to take out the highs again. And it had good news, right? So the catalyst is good. Everything about it's good. TKAT, which we're also in, this is already like day three type of thing. And it did try to make this break just now. It couldn't really get past that 380. It's now right back into this 350, 360. I don't need it taking out this low. Very likely it'll retest down to 340. So, got 2/3 of it. I'll just get the rest out if it takes out this 350 area. TKT trying again, but keep in mind, it's down 8%. TKT on the day. It just tried to go here, and looks like the second bounce, which is like the third or fourth in the of this week, is going to fail. But we did take profit in front of 380. So far, so good. It got very close on DDL to a reload. Watch out for that at 660.
All right, let's get through a couple of these because I want to get to the Masters too. Let's talk about, Starbucks downgrade yesterday, bad news, stock went down. Chip stock's pretty weak here still this afternoon, guys. AMD, 107, 106.5, guys, trying to hold here for AMD. But Sean, you're all over that one.
Yeah, AMD was pretty good today, and and again, thank you for all the talk here on Twitter about teaching and things like that, and I think that's part of the benefit. We were going long early. Actually, I don't need to show the tweet. Let's just show the chart. Where's AMD? As we're waiting to get longer here in Facebook, we just got missed down there to get a little more into that long. But Facebook on a retrace back up. Let's just offer out and see if we can get out. Okay, AMD there. We'll get out of a piece at O's. There we go. We just got filled on Facebook. So. Here's AMD. Look, yesterday, again, was a good day for us on AMD, except for we got out of the way. We realized we were trying to short. Too bad the shorts aren't here. We shorted all day yesterday, and then it started to rip up, and we noticed the strength. So we came in today and put right on our sticky note that we wanted to go long due to this move in the afternoon, straight up, right? And so we started going long in here, and we got out of the way of this long right here when it broke 109. It took down the pre-market levels. The NASDAQ wasn't screaming to the downside at this time. It was making a move down, but not this aggressive, man. And that's where we said, okay, forget about it. And then we started switching it up, and all these purples started to become short. So yeah, weakness right now, down 3%. NVIDIA down even more than that right now, down 5%. And you can see all of these purples are all shorts, man. Even including right now, we just... we got in and out on the last short. Would have loved to see that. We were looking at Facebook, but that 108, another level, shorting it up to VWAP, I think would have worked there. Coming back into the downside right now goes AMD. So you're going to have to watch and be a little careful with your positioning on this name. I feel like yesterday afternoon, that rip up, it may happen again here, considering where the market's at right now, battling around the 50 period, it's below. It just made a little move, and now we're bouncing off that 50 period, possibly going to retest 108. So I'm actually debating on going long through this level, but yeah, AMD continues to be a definite nice move here to the upside. So yeah, no, there's no beef. It's funny because I said that. I honestly did forget his name. It's Ross, I believe, right? And yeah, so I don't have steel cage match. That would be a pay-per-view. And I think that would be pretty good for us here. But no, I have absolutely nothing against it. I think the more... I don't know. As long as I can have certain people in my corner there, we would be doing that. No. Nothing. I think it's good for our community, right? Just different style. I think Ross trades more of the flying stocks in the pre-market, like that SBFM and things like that. And we're using. He trades his own money. We're like I've already explained to you.
Like it is different styles. Like you're on a prop floor, you're going to be a little bit different. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Brad. Every time Brad goes to Super Chicken, I get some of the fries and only a few because they're good, but you got to take it easy on those because they're pretty heavy. But it's like you said, it's different trading styles, and that's what it's all about. And if you can learn from somebody else's sort of trials, tribulations, their setups, their mistakes, their successes, it's just cheaper to do that, right? Then everyone's going to make their own mistakes, and you're going to have to learn that way too. I actually, for the first time in a week, have not traded a single chip stock today, but I had been tracking. And the one that's definitely still on watch is Global Foundries. We actually bounced off the 50 period now. So, through the 50 period. We've finally taken this one out. And so it's going to get into this consolidation range where it has a chance to hold 55, maybe break back above. And as the market starts to come back, like we've reversed off the high, the Q's breaking that resisting the 200 and pulling back in here, you have to start thinking about, okay, well, what are the names that you want to pick up? What are the names or where are the prices? Global Foundries, for me, is now starting to get into that zone. It needs to start holding here. I want to see it consolidate. That's going to be pretty key for GFS. I wish I could say I shorted it, but I couldn't find any longs that I liked, and the shorts were elsewhere today for me. I wish I had looked at like NVIDIA, but I can't say that was true today.
All right, one more thing to do here. Let's talk about some frustrating stocks because there are a couple worth mentioning today. I wanted to mention, I'll start things off today because why not? SBFM. I mean, Neil, you mentioned this already, but I'm going to write down 525 for tomorrow because clearly there's a monster buyer at 525 holding this thing above 5 even, obviously. But in a channel, stuck in a range here, 565, 575 to 525 for SBFM. But monster volume on that one. Ends up being not much to see here.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I thought that stock was okay today, but it certainly could have been a lot better. Like, I thought it was going to break down and really give you through $5. It felt like it was going to do that. Tesla's mine. Like, we went over NIO. That loss was going to be the trade of the day. And what we decided, it's not about the trade of the day being the best stock or the biggest winner or the best opportunity. It's just the learning experience. Tesla is the other one that didn't go well for me today. Everything about the setup, again, like you were trying to break out into uncharted territory after that 1150, right? And the only thing that worked out here is it was a scalper's dream off these levels, so we managed to stay afloat and then took our hits. But it's the same story as NIO. When you get a double top like this and there's a breakout, at some point, it doesn't matter when you catch on that it's a reversal, and if it's like some tiny small cap stock that I don't like, or that I don't know, I should say, it's so much easier to play that reverse. Now, it gave the chance here, and I just decided to ignore it, right? We had the breakout. Both the breakout scalps worked off of 45 and 50. We then did a reload off of 40, which we said every $5. We got the scalp out and then just kept stopping up, break even for the rest. It just couldn't continue to go. But it's this last-ditch effort where it tries to get back above that 45 level. That's your wick off top. Like, it goes through 1150, fail, tries to get through the lower high, and then starts to fail. Like, that is a short, if it happened on DDL or I don't know, like SBFM, the same thing. If that happens there, I would have been trying to short the stock. Instead, I'm playing off the long at that 1115, the previous high. I'm playing off the long at 1100, which was okay. This actually worked for a bit up to 1105 and then stopped out flat, but just looking for only that long instead of joining the party to the south side. If it was a small cap, I'd have done it. It was Tesla, so I didn't.
Frustrating stocks? As I look at my net, I don't really see too many frustrating stocks here. I don't know. I'm a little bit frustrated with CCL and that there was no continuation for that. What stock did you do? Tesla. Okay, good. I didn't mean to call you out on eating fries there. I was going to say, don't let me do CC. I was too busy reading the chat there. And the bottom line is, if I needed to sell something to make money, I would, right? So you just figure that out and see what that means. But okay, 2020 right there could be something for the bottom to look at right there for CCL. But it's frustrating to me because, again, record bookings. I like the stock. I think that it made some nice bottoms. And just the fact that it faded out. I don't have any trades to show frustration. It's a positive name for me today. But at the same time, like, a little frustrated the fact that I haven't been able to work my way back in to CCL. It just really hasn't given any opportunities. I'm wondering right now if that bottom of 2020 is something there. We may want to take it for a break to the downside, especially with these futures coming back in. So I think we'll do that now, but I don't really like shorting stocks that are up on the day, to be honest with you, especially with the catalyst. But I'm going to short this name right now. CCL breaking through 2020. Let's see what happens. We do have the 50 period up here at 2030. 10 cents worth of risk for hopefully a lot more payoff down the line here, especially if our friendly NASDAQ continues to make a move back downside right now. So I think this could be a candidate for frustrated stocks. And as I short it and then it rips up, then you're going to really see frustrations. But yeah, this name just doesn't seem to want to get going when I thought it would today. So opportunity on CCL, I think, is there, just never came through.
All right, Sean, you want to talk about this menu, or do you want to discuss other players potentially for the Masters?
Yeah, I don't want to give away all my players here, but yeah, we'll do that for sure. Fitzpatrick, I have another one. Okay, so what do you guys think about this? I don't know if you're going to be able to read this. How can I zoom in just a little bit more on there? I don't know. I can't. It's not really working. But okay, so let's do this. So the Masters Club dinner right now. This is by Hideki Matsuyama. It's a great, great menu, I think. Anyways, appetizers, assorted sushi, sashimi, yakitori chicken skewers. Let's go. Right there. Followed by miso glazed black cod. We're down with that. Dashi broth. Come on. This guy's killing it right now. Then you've got the Wagyu, Neil. Come on. Ribeye.
Are you crazy?
Beef, ribeye, Wagyu. Let's go. With mushrooms and vegetables. And then, I don't know what this is, but I'm down. Japanese strawberry shortcake.
It doesn't matter what it is.
I mean, we have, what's that Japanese?
It doesn't matter.
Cheesecake place here.
I know the one-
Tetsu.
Yeah.
Mr. Tetsu's or whatever.
That stuff's great.
There, that is legit. So if this is I know this is shortcake, but I'm just saying, I believe that that's a legit menu, and I know Neil likes it. So let's get your opinion there, Brendo.
Oh, goodness.
Bailed on the tournament last weekend so he could go and get this ready. So
there you go.
Unbelievable. Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. Quickly, thoughts on, I mean, obviously Tiger's going to play. I just checked, minus 115 to make the cut for Tiger.
I mean, look, man, I don't follow enough golf to have any idea what kind of shape, how's he swinging.
I mean, it was 7 months ago. People thought his career was over.
But who knows? Like the back, look, man,
So,
it's no joke. And I tell as a person.
No, it was his legs.
Oh, it was his legs this time?
Yeah.
Anyways, I can't swing anything because of my back. Like I can do it. It's just the day after I'm having trouble putting my shoes on, and that guy's in a heck of a lot better shape. I would like to think that I am, but I love him. He's an absolute icon. But tough go there. I'll watch for your guy. But I'm that person that really only tunes in for a bit on Sunday.
Yeah.
Unless I'm in a pool. Like if I'm in a pool, then I'm interested. But otherwise, like Sunday, if it's close, fine. What the heck was Brad
So
saying?
I'll give another one. I'll give another pick to everybody. Dustin Johnson, I think, Brendan. You like that play?
Oh, I like
Dustin Johnson playing real well. And I have other motivations as well. Gretzky is in the building. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, that's.
I'm going to pull one out too. Brooks. I think Brooks is going to actually concentrate and
not fight, what's his name?
Sorry?
Wasn't he trying to fight? They're going to have a cage match with
DeChambeau.
DeChambeau
No.
there. Brooks
No, that was last year. No, Brooks only gets excited about majors at this point. So I think Brooks might do good. I think John Rahm is another one to watch this weekend. So yeah, lots of fun to come. Guys, I just saw Apple as well breaking to the downside a little bit there on volume. So some of the bigger tech stocks starting to roll over also.
What's also making a move, we just said also way too many times. We'll hit the Miss V one. Remember 580, like don't write off SBFM. Yeah, it takes out that level. Nice consolidation there right around 85. I grabbed some 85s in between some fries there. It broke 6, takes them out in front of 6 quarter. And remember, there was somebody Uber selling 650. late in the pre-market, and then again just after the open. So you know there's likely resistance overhead at 650. You want to be taking some out in front of it. As a matter of fact, it gets some more out in front of the quarters, and just got some at 18 there. And if it can't get to 650, fine. Like the breakout was still valid. The key about this is when it doesn't have to be day one, but usually it's day one. Gapper strength puts in a textbook failure off of that 650 right at the open, pop and drop, but cannot break its first strong level of support. Now, it does get below $5. Don't get me wrong, like it has a consolidation late in the pre-market, and it does get below $5, but it barely does. That is a wick bottom that stopped me out on a trail, and then you see it hold 5 just all afternoon. Then you get the late day power hour move. We've seen it so many times. The volume ticks up. Everything was there for you on SBFM.
All right, new position alert right now. There it is, man. We are back in the building with Facebook. A nice little win right now to the upside. Let's just take another piece out right here as it continues to go, man. We are long right now, 97. Came back in. We were using 60, I guess 50, 67, something like that as that bottom. That's actually 62 change. So here it goes. Bang right there. So we're already 1-to-1 on this trade as we go to the upside right now with Facebook. Let's just keep trading. Like I said, man, the names that we thought were a little bit stronger, those are the names that we want to be in here. I do also have John Rahm. I have a 5-pack in there. So I gave you 3 already. We'll give you 2 more tomorrow. Although tomorrow is maybe later on in the show. We'll complete the 5-pack there. And 233.8 is where we are here. A little bit higher than that. A little bit lower, sorry. 233.70 is going to be the 50 period. So that's going to be my next exit for another 70 or 80 cents. And yeah, you're right. I don't need to use your liquidity to get out as we are trading some big time names here right up to the upside. Facebook continues to go. There's VWAP again, man. Maybe we just take this out. This is a scalper's dream. Like we said, I know I screwed up the math before when I said that'd be 200,000. That was on 1,000 shares, obviously, not on 100 shares. So let's just keep going to the upside right now with Facebook. And let's look at this 233.50 mark. Get another piece out if we take out VWAP, and then we'll let it fly, hopefully back up to the upside. That's Facebook.
We have had a ton of questions recently regarding high inflation, A, what the market does, B, during periods of high inflation, and the most important question, guys, what on earth should we own during periods of high inflation? The market has been very, very good to investors over the past couple of years. Things changed this year. What do we own during periods of high inflation?
I think a lot of times people say the term like get defensive, like that's what they think about, and it's like, okay, make companies that have good balance sheets, companies that make money, good cash flow. I think that's one way to think about it. The other thing to think about is like what sectors are going to make sense in an inflationary environment, and that's sometimes we get like, oh, let's buy this stock, and we talked about that many times. But I'll go with just a few different kind of looks here. We know about energy and XLE, but I'll give you 2 that are pretty obvious and should stand out there. Healthcare and utilities. And those are 2 sectors that make a lot of sense. XLU, XLV. And truth of the matter is, it's not like you're always going to get crazy volatility out of these names. And sure, you've been getting a nice little bump, but relative to the overall market volatility, A, you're going to have less of it. B, you're going to be able to get a dividend. And then you're not having to necessarily pick the perfect name in there. Look, I like particular healthcare stocks. I like UNH. I like Danaher. You know, I like Pfizer, but a lot of times it is easier to get into that ETF, and everyone's talking energy. It's easy to say, okay, oil's still going to work. That's going to be good in an inflationary environment. That's a good place to go. But let's start thinking about those utilities, and instead of having to be an expert on which ones you should be trying to pick, go XLU. And when you think about healthcare, XLV also works as well. Other ETFs out there, there's, Vanguard has funds and whatnot. So I understand there's other places you can go, but sometimes let's think about the sectors themselves that are going to work there. And those are 2 that I believe can still be had.
So look, yeah, great points there on the ETFs, and actually stealing a little bit of the thunder here for me as well, but they're not those ETFs. Look, right now, Goldman Sachs, and I made a little note here because, I'm well prepared. Goldman Sachs, 38% chance of recession in the next 2 years, okay? So, and then also 21% chance that we get to 30, here's the ES, hold on a second, ES $F. They say it's a 21% chance that we get to 3,600. So this is a daily here for the ES. They said a 21% chance that we retrace all the way back to 3,600, which puts us back to November of 2020. 2020 levels actually down here, 3,600. So if there's a 21% chance of that happening, that's a big move to the downside, right? So we'll see if that comes into play there, down, retracing down to 3,600. So, you know, if that's what's going to be the case here, they also have a 20% peak to trough for this year, thinking that we could go down another 20%. Look, for me, if that happens, and I know Neil gave some very specific ETFs there, I'm going to go the complete opposite way. Like, I think why bother? If we're going to go into a recession, honestly, why even deal with any of these names? I mean, UNH is a great name. UNH right now is at all-time highs today, right? And so healthcare is there. If you want to put your money into a name that's at all-time highs, fine. But what I'd rather do is, honestly, just start to pick this name up. If the S&P 500 is exactly, and this is going to be SPY, and hopefully it loads, you know, if this is going to retrace back here to 400, 390, something like that, these levels, then look, let's start to pick them up. Let's start to pick it up. Start nibbling. You're going to start to nibble at the 200 period there. Then you can nibble again at the 50. We just had a major move down in a complete retracement, almost back to all-time highs. Like, what was up with that crash? If you just averaged into this, and I'm not saying you average in every $10 or anything like that. Why not take a piece now when this recession actually comes through? Then take another piece down here at 420-ish, right? Take that piece. And then as we start to nibble back down in, you can start averaging in. There's also ETFs that are what, SDS, where you get dividends for the S&P 500 stocks. So there are lots of names to play here. And I don't think it's wise. If you really think we're going into a recession, then I wouldn't buy anything, right? And that's why I go over here to the SPY and say, hey, look, there's a chance that we're all wrong and that some of the guys calling, we said the death cross of the yields, right? It's called 12 of the last 6 recessions. So think about that. It's called 12 of the last 6 recessions. That means it's wrong just as many times as it's right, okay? So you don't want to be caught not buying anything at the bottom. I would pick up the SPY. It's the ES. It's the S&P 500. Let someone else pick the stocks for you and just make sure you got the right levels, and I think you'll be okay.
Market's up 20+% the past 3 years in a row. Would it be the end of the world if we just went sideways even for the next year or 2 or 3 at this point? So have a list. I love that idea. Have a list of stocks you want to own regardless in the long term, going down the road, and work into them over time. There's a look, guys, at what we should do during periods of high inflation. So Chuck Schumer just saying that the Democrats are, what was the actual comment? Was they're hoping to get to the cannabis bill soon. And Tilray just did that. So a ton of volume coming in here as well. Still down on the day, but the Dems are coming for the cannabis sector.
And Tilray reports.
Are they, though?
Well, let them. Look, man. We've sort of been over this before. It's just stage 1 or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't mean necessarily this is going to get through. Like, they have to roll through. Cannot be any dissent when it gets to the Senate. That's just, it has to go like full, it has to go right through. It's almost like universal. Like, they have very slim margin for error when it gets to the Senate. So as expected, I would think this is going to fade a little bit here as risk off. You get the volume spike, the algos take control, can't get through the day's high. Maybe we can hold out. I'll go to the higher time frame here. Maybe you can hold out off of yesterday's bottom, which would be $7. I think that could be worth it for a bit of a defense here. I just pulled up Sundial to see what was up. If it had gotten like, so much closer, I had to quickly pay for shorts and couldn't grab anything closer to 66. It never even got there, but Sundial, I like to fade that instead. Tilray, because of the earnings, could be a trickier play, but yeah, I wouldn't be overreacting to this news at all with the cannabis names.
Because if Facebook comes back down, I got to try to work this position. I'm in the 20s, high 20s, to get another piece out here. We should have got some more out at VWAP. We talked about that. I actually thought I was sitting there. I told you guys I was sitting at just above 50. It ripped up, and I guess we did that segment, and I forgot to put that order in. Silly me, but now it's going to cost me some cash right there. But, okay, so yeah. Anyways, about cannabis names, like the thing is, and I'll hit that right now as we go. Look, I feel like that's the kind of zone that you're going to be in, not only if you're puff, puff, pass on that, but also if you're trading cannabis. Like, you know, if you're going to sit there and expect them to say something, great. Look at the volume come in. It's like, okay, you know, someone, again, an algo or something, here's that Chuck Schumer talking, which I want to keep my opinion out for that one. Rips up to the upside, then it's like retail getting involved because, oh my God. And then it's like, nah, comes right back in right here. So maybe you do have a little bit of a bottom. I always like to wait for pullbacks to come through. So maybe we can take that position. But again, we've talked about this, and I was away in Miami when this happened. And it was just like, you have to sell the news, man, until I actually see. Like, I would much rather buy Tilray, and this is going to sound crazy, 25% up from here than at these levels, because right now you're just playing a game. And it's like, will it go up? Will it go down? Will they approve said legislation? My bet is no. It will not get the unanimous vote through Senate. This will not be happening. There's too much push and pull. There's too much big pharma that don't want, cannabis and medical and all this stuff to go through. And again, this is not like tinfoil stuff. I mean, they could have tinfoil hat.
No, but this
is just what happens, right? Sure. There's such a thing called lobbyists and things like that. And it sucks, but it exists in government. So they're not going to let you grow a plant in your backyard. And they'd rather charge you whatever, $100. I have no idea what an oxy pill is or something like that. But God forbid that cannabis solves problems that they already have predetermined drugs for that mess up your brain, your liver, things like that. There's no way we should approve marijuana, right? This is all tongue in cheek. But as it goes to the upside, I just don't want people to buy now, because if this gets squashed again, then you're going to have to wait for the next election year, which is 2024, right? So you got at least 2 more years of talk, and then it'll start to get spicy again, because the Republicans will run on some kind of, marijuana bill, as will the Democrats. It'll go back and forth. They'll both promise, again, thanks Kamala for this as well, they'll both promise that they'll do something for cannabis, and then they won't. So that's sort of my take on this name. I'd rather wait until we get some approval, and if I have to pay 10 for it, I'll pay 10. But I want to know that I'm right and we're with momentum. I don't want to play this game. I'm sick of this. Anything else?
No, man. Like, it is what it is. We kind of know, like, money rules the world. Let's be real. And when the bigger the money is involved, the more pushback that you're going to get. And we've already seen it start to fade back in here. And again, it's still just like the 3rd inning or whatever it has to be, and you're down 10-0. It doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means that to understand the odds. I was asked about 10H. It's not doing a heck of a lot. It's still trying to get to that higher low at 69, so I'll play off of that level. SBFM, there we go. Chew through it, finally. It did trail me out at $6, so it made your breakout through 585. It couldn't even get to that 650 from the morning. That's where that's the only price I would have tried to short it. It's got to be at that 50 level, and it took a few shots at it, like it stop out, get back in. And because he didn't want it taking out the high. It's probably going to 7 if it did that. But it did just fail at about 6.25. So it gives you the break. It goes right into morning resistance. Now it's going to try and hold out previous, 570 to 585, that area here. Maybe it can bounce off those levels and have a second run at it. You'd love to see that. The volume's still pretty good. SBFM is going to be worth watching right into the final hour here, Brendo.
Watch DWAC trying to go here. The Daily Mail reporting that Twitter will not reinstate Trump's Twitter account after a ton of requests when Elon said major changes were coming. So somebody actually asked if that would happen. So apparently Twitter came out and said they will not reinstate the account. So DWAC just popped up.
Yeah, I meant to actually talk about that, about the fact that maybe President Trump, we had this argument before, discussion.
Yeah.
I think you still call President Trump, former President Obama.
I don't think it's in question. If you were president, you were always called president.
Okay, so that makes sense. So I was thinking that if they did allow, and we'll go over to Twitter right now so we can all watch it, that if they did allow President Trump to be back on Twitter, then naturally, regardless of your political affiliation, that would create a nice bump for Twitter, just regardless of Elon Musk. Like, I think adding another prominent account back onto the platform is a good thing. So with that not happening, I guess that does make sense. And I was actually surprised about your DWAC. Well, we talked about it, and I had no idea the numbers that DWAC were posting. But yeah, 500,000 or so daily users already. Again, I don't think it's live in Canada. I tried again, and it didn't look like it. So I can't even get on there to see. It's like geocache or whatever. I don't even know what it looks like, to be honest with you. But again, I also believe, I think a lot of us on the chat believe in free speech and all that kind of stuff. So if DWAC can somehow promise that, that's great. But again, remember, you still have to get through a lot of regulation, and they could be closed for hate speech and stuff like that. It's not like it's just free will to say whatever you want. There is going to be some extent to that. So I'm excited for more opportunity. We do know that there's another platform, Getter, there's The Truth, there's Twitter, Facebook, I don't think really anybody's posting too much on. There's Instagram. Other than that, like Snapchat, I guess, another possibility. You know what we haven't looked at in forever?
We haven't looked
Snapchat.
We never look at Snapchat.
What is going on with Snapchat?
I think the stock is just, it hasn't been very interesting. I know it's moving the last couple of days, but we just talked about the numbers there. I want to be sort of clear because when we said 500,000, I actually didn't realize they had that many on DY because like I said, we can't even see it to have an idea of what's going on here. Maybe it's a Canada thing, but it was the weakness was that their growth was slowing. They got a bunch of signups in the first week, and then that's been slowing down. I think that's part of the reason for the rollover in momentum. Like this was already sort of rolling over before this Twitter news, and I think that had to do with the disappointment in terms of the actual growth of daily users and the signups that they were getting. Now, we talked about the 50 support. Support often turns into resistance. I was not fast enough just now, but look what happened. We spiked right to $50 and then started reversing. So, if it blows through 50, you're probably going to see me in and out of a trade short in front of it. I don't see how I don't want to make a trade off of that level. It's been weak all day long. It was a good short before. 50 is a nice round number. You're going to have a stop out at that price. Sometimes you can give it a little bit more, but this late in the day, I don't feel the need to get too cute with it. I'm going to see if I can't get something on the offer in front of that 50 level and then just have a clean stop out. If it decides to test higher, fair enough. And if it breaks 50, I'll jump right back to in the morning 54, and then the breakdown was at 53, and that was simply, maybe I can do it this way, 53 right here was yesterday's low. So those are the two prices that we'd be playing off of if DWAC were to get through 50.
Just quickly, we'll fall down as Facebook. It's funny because we just got stopped out on that 50, or was it even a 50 break? No, it was this bottom break there, 64. Okay, now it's back down and then it ripped back up. So we're going to be done this. I don't think the market's going to survive here in this afternoon. We did, and again, this is part of what I'm talking about. I look at the chat, and I don't know if people are trying to troll or what. They're like, oh, Facebook's going down. Look, honestly, guys, I have over 200 fills today. There's going to be trades that don't work out, but this Facebook trade actually worked out. That's why. If you guys know, I tell you, that's 20, 40, 60, 80. We're holding 20%. Then we got some more. And look at these wins. This is 96, right? Some of these outs, that out's 35. This out's 25. This out's 15. So that's 15, 25, 35, 45. And then another out at 18 there. That's another 20-cent win. Then we take this long at 75, okay? And then we get out at 58. So then we lose that money back in again. But again, it's scalping. This is what we do here. And, so I try to switch it up. And again, we have a huge advantage here at Day Trade the World. Let's be perfectly honest, to be able to go back and forth with these trades. It's a huge advantage, and I don't take it lightly, and that's why, I do feel like it is hard to follow sometimes what we're talking about. I know a lot of you trade with options, so if you're looking for those kind of trades, look at key levels, and I mean, that's really the point of the education that we're doing here, is giving everybody ideas, look at, figuring out how we trade and seeing if it does work for you. What's up, Brenda?
Hey guys, it's officially Power Hour, which means only 1 hour left until the end of this trading day, and also that we need more likes. If you didn't like this video yet, please smash that like right now, as we have 3,200 people watching and only 400 likes. Team, please support, and back to you guys.
So anyways, I'm sitting here my mouth is watering. Those fries were so good.
They're so much better. I heard that you guys were hating on those.
They've been slacking when it comes to super chicken across the street. The fries were great when they opened up, and now they're just back to hot fire. I can only have a dozen of them, but now I'm so hungry. That 10H comes right back into VWAP, 64.5. I took some more shares out. At this point, I don't think it's going to get through that 60 level. It's day one, it's held out for support, even though it's a lower high. This is the kind of thing where how many times have you seen this, and then we hold VWAP, and then we retrace to the top, and as a matter of fact, why even be on the offer to reload this at 68? At this point, I feel like if we bounce VWAP and I'm getting 68, I don't want it at that point. So let's forget about it. Either it goes down from here. You don't have to reload every single trade. Just because you like a price level doesn't mean you have to take it every single time it gets to that price. Like, you have the ability to cancel your order. It's always an option. Don't get me wrong. Like, a lot of times you want to take the setups when they're there. DDL, this is the other one I'm watching pretty closely. A lot of times when it gets to a price like this, it's at that 660 and it's in the range. But it's kind of going sideways, and it's very strong. Obviously, you can see that it's very strong. But I'd rather it break up one time and just get higher to 680. And the reason for that is I'll show you, and I guess this is already a 3 minute, so I'll try to zoom in here. So you can see, like, I was sitting in this one earlier, right before we went off air. It was a lower consolidation off a spike, but I was too far removed from the high of the day, so I stopped out at 50, and then it just kept on trying to break 50. Wick top. I'd get in, and then it's like, okay, can't break. Oh, look at it. It doesn't actually get through that 665 high. Let's just get more shares in. Boom, there we go. And then this happened. It actually challenged the high of the day, and this is real quick. Like, this is a 3 minute chart, guys. So when it breaks through that 665, it does not get through that 680, so it can't get through the top, and then slams right back down. We're able to get in on the way back. So stop out, fail break, jump back in, and it finally fails. So part of me is saying, why do I want to sit in this one? Because it didn't work sitting in the short. Like, you actually had to allow it to break the top, look for the failed break, and then try to get back in. The downside of that trade is, well, on a failed break, there's no guaranteed you can actually get back in where you want. It might just move so fast that you're not able to actually get into position to the short side. But that's what ended up finally working. So why fight it? It was 2 times not working and 1 time did. So I'm not gonna sit in the DDL short, even though I said I was willing to at 660.
I didn't mean to hit that, but that's okay. We'll do it again, just in case. And there we go, guys. I mean, AMD, right? I mean, here's a trade. We just took the short. We identified relative weakness. We've only been going short. I told you the market was breaking lower here. We wanted to find a short. And then, like, there it is. Like, what do you, honestly, and this is part of the talk, and I'm not going to keep doing this over and over again, although it seems like I am. Like, right there, that's 20 cents. Like, what do you want me to say? We have 1,000 shares, and then we just made $200. Like, whatever. Like, you guys are saying certain traders are making, you know, $200,000 in one day. If you're trading with that kind of share size, honestly, then, like, what are you losing? Like, I don't understand what kind of, like, percentages you have there. And look, I could just make a nice little graphic and say, oh yeah, we just shorted 20,000 shares there. You know, I'm now up whatever, $5,000 on the trade. Like, I'm not using that kind of shares. So if you guys are wondering about that, but it's about the execution. Like, look at this move to the downside right there. Like, whatever you guys want to trade, you trade. Part of it is, man, we're teachers, and that's what it is. And, like, there's a good trade for me, identifying the weakness, and there's the move down, man. Capture out, and I might as well capture another piece. We're coming right into here. So look what I'm going to do, man. I'm going to put out a bid here on AMD. I'm still watching Twitter, by the way. I feel like that has to do something at some point. If I can get out right where we just ticked down to here into the mid-80s, let's do that. Take another piece right before the bottom of the day, and then we can hold the rest of it. Like, I just don't see the value in me telling you that I'm up $10 today or I'm up 10,000, but regardless, that's just a policy that we have. We may change it at some point, and you're welcome. We have traders right here behind us if you want to pan the floor. I mean, if we weren't anything legit, then obviously these guys behind us also would sort of know. But all these trades that we're putting on are completely legit trades. You could see, I think Neil and I do a good job of tweeting out some of the positions that we have. And hell, we're broadcasting live to you guys every single day. Like, if you don't, you know, part of understanding how we trade is watching and listening to us. We're live at 8:30 every single day. The sticky note continues to be hot fire. Like, oh no.
Market just broke the low.
There's a keystroke error, by the way. I didn't mean to get out of everything. But how's that? Right there. Like, we go short, out at these very bottoms. Unfortunately, I had a bid out there to cover, but there we go, man. We'll go ding dong right there and bing bong as if you're on that subway. And then we will also give a shout out to something that no other show has, because there it is, a goat with money flying out of his ass. It's Brendan, and we have a lot of things here to offer you guys, and we want to thank everybody for watching, because we ain't going nowhere. But I do have bad news next week, Brendan. Do you want to be the one dropping the news?
You picked a great time to say that.
Where is Brendan? There he is.
Sure, I can, yeah. I'm on holiday next week, so I won't be here, but we'll be thinking, no, I won't. Yeah, I'm off next week, guys.
Yeah,
Brendan never takes vacation.
But then it's Arun. It's going to be Arun and I, and Neil will be manning the desk up there.
First thing,
and Brendan never takes vacation, so we're going to say congratulations to finally signing that up. And any plans for the vacay there, Brendo?
We have a cottage booked, actually. We were going to go somewhere fun, but flying is still a bit of a pain in the ass, so we decided not to.
About a cottage?
So we're going to wine country and have a cottage booked, so it should be good.
Why isn't that fun?
Attaboy.
Yes, sign me up, man. If I complain about this, though, hopefully there's no chance my wife is watching. But like we're going like actual camping. Like every year I get more and more into my wife's and their family. They're really outdoorsy. I love the outdoors too. But yeah, we're doing real camping.
I know. I just
we have like our new tent is like bigger than any tent needs to be. I'm like, why did we even buy this? We don't even go camping.
I could have just lent you my tent, man. We have a huge tent.
Oh, you had one?
I have a huge tent already.
Well, why the hell do we have to? Anyway.
I don't know. You never asked, bro.
To be honest, I wouldn't have guessed that you had a big tent. That's all.
Yeah. We used to go. No, we used to. When the kids were smaller, we took them camping all the time, and it's just.
We're not using.
Honestly, man, I ain't sleeping on no ground. No, like
apparently
it's just like apparently you are. And if you oh, here's the thing, Neil. Look, man, I don't know what kind of pull you have. I don't know if it's the same as I do, but like if you have a bad back, you should not be sleeping on like an air mattress, bro.
You think I don't know that?
I know, but your wife should be really caring about your health, my friend.
Well, so
I'm gonna speak to her.
Okay, in fairness, like the back issue I used to have like sciatica, that kind of stuff, but that's actually not in the past. Like what I have has more to do with like a spinal thing with twisting.
So you could find a good place to sleep.
Yeah, that's not an issue.
Oh, okay.
It's like I had to quit baseball, and that's why I can't golf. It's just I do it, and then the next day it's an absolute mess. I'm a write-off. I can do everything else in the world.
But I mean, the campfire, man, like
s'mores. I don't have a problem with that
roasting
stuff.
Those marshmallows.
As the market is dying.
The lake, love lakes.
What is with that?
Brandon, I might have to rein in on that party. You know what
I know. My hair's going away. I get it. I get it, Fahad.
Well, what's Fahad?
I know.
Fahad over there.
They know that shot. They know.
Okay,
they know the
Fahad.
overhead
I see you, Fahad.
I get it.
Fahad
Why
is
do you think I shave
like,
it sometimes? See?
He's very. He's like on a
right
very tipsy line here. You're towing the line, Fahad.
As the market's crapping, we just crossed 2% to the downside, and it's like. I'm not saying like, necessarily this is like doom and gloom. However, you can't really ignore, come on Qs, where's my Qs? You can't really ignore the type of reaction we're having. How many stocks we're trying to break out today, and we're just long breakout setups, and then you're getting these big monster reversals, right? Like the Q right off the 200 period. Like this is exactly the kind of thing, like you get right off of a level like that, and then make a reversal like we're seeing today. It's, okay, are we thinking we're getting back to that 50 period? That's what makes sense to me. Like you try to break, fail break, hold the 200, and now you start to come back in. Like it was such a monster run off of the bottom, and this is what, and obviously I'm not saying anything that wasn't talked about this morning. That's why we just did the thing talking about recession and pullbacks market, but not a great look here. And it looks like we're having a shot to finish on some of those lows. I'm looking for pops to short. DWAC was missed, obviously. That goes without saying. It had its own news, but it's usually going to fall with the market. At this point, as weak as we are, if it makes even a muted bounce into like 49.5, I think I'd take 49.5 in there. I was tracking a firm earlier on today. Like the market's down 2%, and I don't have a trade on a firm today. But it's not even giving you any real pops to short off of. I'd love to be taking something 44.5, 45, but you're just not really seeing it. It's just this 10H, which is moving a bit. DDL, I did see. After I sort of gave the reason why I didn't want to sit in the short, it then pops down into VWAP, and it'll happen. I was just simply telling you that it was not working. Like that approach flat out didn't work this morning, and it made more sense to allow it to grind higher. And guess what? I could draw you a trend line. It's still trending to the upside and has every chance to spike up to that $7 level and then give a more clean failure.
All right, guys. So once again, thank you so much for your talking, especially here, Carlito. What's up, Carlito? Hopefully it's not your way, Carlito's way. Right there. We try to you guys entertain, you teach. We never get bored of your show. Good luck. Good luck to you too, Carlito, as well. Thank you so much for those kind words. And I'll just do Ms. V's job right here, quick time, although no one can really replace her. No, I don't think anyone's mad. I'm not addressing anybody there. I think everyone's allowed to their opinions. But yeah, the content's free, and you won't find anything that we're selling. We sell $5 show membership, and that's just to support the show. We can see you on chat, and we do try to pay attention more to the people that are members of the channel. And I want to give a big thank you to a lot of we have members here 18 months, 19 months, 22 months that I've sent merchandise to and things like that. So look, man, we're here for you and thank you so much. I cannot believe it. Siren alert right now, because honestly, I didn't realize I had another bid here at the low of the day for AMD. As I was talking, man, I meant to hold on to a third of this trade and now it's just collapsing down. Honestly, rookie mistake for sure, because when I got out there, I could have just gotten back in. And unfortunately, I didn't do that. I'm a little distracted. I don't know why I'm distracted. I shouldn't be. But we just took out the day's low there on AMD. And as you can see, like, if this is not, and this is what I mean about PDT and things like that, and maybe not trading the same way we do, this is what I'm here for. Look at this. Look at these shorts, right? We really started switching up the game. What's up, Randy? We really started switting up the, I mean, not only that, no other show has a Randy running around.
Well, obviously not.
Do they?
One of a kind.
Do they? No, they do not. Yeah, okay, Randy. He's on the side here. Can you guys? Oh, you missed him. He's gone. He's gone. Right now, Randy gone. But okay, anyways, what I was getting at here was, look what we switched up. We talked about switching up our AMD. So, you know, if there is something that you guys could do, if you're not able to trade as back and forth as we are, like these is way too many fills here for AMD. But the idea is that we started shorting this thing at 109 right here at 10:30. And we talked about it being relatively weak against the market, so on and so forth. So forget about all of these trades I have. I mean, I made more money. That's just the way I trade. Like, I make more money scalping and then reloading them. That's why we have my infamous key here about but
again, Carlito's way.
Yeah, there it is. If you can't, what's up, Carlito? If you can't do that, I mean, maybe you had took an option here, or you had shorted your 1,000 shares or 100 shares. Again, don't make me do math. And shout out to everybody that sent me a nice tweet about the calendar. I don't even know what this thing is called, but the calculator that they have, still old school like that, calculating that.
I think we had that at campus office, didn't we?
Yeah, we probably did. I mean, this is probably from like, you know,
I mean, it has to be that
OAC calculus, and people don't even know what OAC is anymore.
It doesn't exist.
They don't have that anymore. Grade 13 here in Ontario. Anyways, okay. Because I remember in university is when I got my first scientific calculator. I really don't, I think we must
No,
have, we would have needed it because we had finite.
Yeah,
we had finite and calculus, and then the other one was algebra and geometry. So actually,
for sure
that's a
you
lot.
had one.
For sure I had one, because I was definitely trying to cheat and stuff like that. So I definitely had one of those.
Not in math, just French.
Not at math. Well, at math I had you and our friend Amar. Well, no, I had Amar. You weren't math.
I was the math guy.
I know.
I know, we were in the same class.
We're in the same class. So one of my good friends, who is now like a world-renowned
He's an unbelievable surgeon
right now, used to literally, I mean, I was blessed to be at school with Neil and a lot of these smart dudes. And
I was in biology with him.
Yeah, exactly. So I just remember, and I hope my math teacher, I don't even know her name, is watching right now, because, yeah, I don't think I really passed super fair. And if my kids are watching, no, Daddy did a lot of work there in high school for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but here we go. Anyways, what I was getting at, again, long story short here. Hello, my name is Sean. I tend to do this. But you could go short now. So you'd be short 109. It's at 106. The whole point is that you can see I've really changed up my strategy here just to go short on AMD. And I know I'm not in anything now, and I'll try to find something for you. But that is really the idea that you could have if you are trying to follow. And I just saw somebody there. They just got mistaken there. What's up to Art King? Thank you so much, man. I get all my momentum from you. That means a lot. Thank you, Art, 9 months as well. Thank you to Ron Miller, man. Thank you for making the market go down. You're welcome for that one. I wish I had that power, but you are once again welcome. And there we go. What's up to Tease Trade? There we go. There's a 16-monther right there. Thank you so much. Remember, for over a year, 16-month Tease Trade. So hopefully some of you guys can definitely, well, not hopefully, we definitely love all of the respect that we get from the chat from you guys. So thank you so much. Again, and a big shout out to Trader Prad, who has just recently joined our team as well, hooking Neil up with the fraud.
People forget that. Like, you know, Prad is doing a fantastic job on a daily basis. He really just started. Before we went to YouTube, like Sean and I both been trading well, but we were internal for Day Trade the World for like a year. So we were kind of getting practice, because it's not, we make it seem easy, but everyone's like, well, how do you manage to trade while also talking? So as Sean's going and talking there, like SBFM spiked up to 640, and it's like, okay, well, that's the price we like. And you kind of just know. It's like, okay, so I just got into that, now working back off of this level, and we can start to take some out on the way to 6 even here as it starts to come back down. But that's a chance to like refocus, and I know when to cover. Like if it's loading up and softening a level, I can just go on if I'm not in a big trade. And sometimes that's going to be the case. But the key thing is, if you have a plan, you know what you're doing before it gets there, at least you try to, and that's what you're trying to have happen. So I knew that I was looking for a spike on SBFM, and then once it got going past where that long got taken out, once we had a curl shy of 650, that was the level I wanted to short back into VWAP here. Now we're only halfway. It doesn't look like you can get to 6 even. I'm going to hold off on rigging the register because unless we get down closer to VWAP here, it can still take out the top, and then this short won't actually be a winning trade. The long was pretty clean. It did only give you 30 to 40 pennies there off 580, 585. This short, for now, looks like it might not even give that. Brendo?
A couple of low float names just popping up. Nutx is the first one here. This is, I mean, it doesn't look like much, but this just went 22.5 to 35 in about 10 minutes there. Still down 15 minutes. This thing de-SPAC'd yesterday. Heads up on that. And then I just saw another one, actually just halted for NUTX there. There was one more I wanted to mention. KSPN, another low float stock just popping up.
Health. Nutx Health.
That stock is no liquidity.
What?
Zero liquidity on that stock.
Yeah,
Zero.
and so
Zero.
Again, that's not going to be. Remember when we were going to trade? We can look it up here. NUTX, just so you can see the level 2. What Neil's talking about. When we talk about, is this it really? It's halted again, I guess.
All it does is halt, man.
Yeah. So I guess that's what Brendan was coming with there. But wow, like again, you know, the tap right now is 32.50, 32.80, so a little bit lower than it was. But again, like what Neil was mentioning, this is not a name that I'm going to trade. And you know, if you want to punch the long here, there was some decent opportunities in there. I'm looking for something else. I was actually just going to go over to Palantir before we came back over here right now. But this is just insane. So. Low float. I've already said my sort of like beef about stocks that have these low floats and that they shouldn't even really be allowed in the marketplace because we know personally people that have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because like they short and then it just keeps on ripping up and then they get because of the function of the market. And look, it's fair. We all know the rules before we play the game. So I'm not going to sit here and like cry over spilt milk. I've personally never got burned on anything
come here for
like
a second.
that.
For actual liquidity, just before we go to Ms. V, look at DDL, right? Like this is a legit 200,000 share offer at 660. Remember we talked about allowing it to break a level and then maybe come back down for a pop and then fade trade? Well, it's trying to chew through this legit order. 140,000 shares left. 60K's already been filled. That's why it's holding up here. And this is kind of what I was waiting for. The problem here is if it relieves that pressure and gets up to 670, 680, I don't think that's a short. If it is, it puts somebody in the event to cover if it were to come down. I kind of think someone's just trying to jam out of some profit there and believes they can get the fill. That would make the short still valid. But I'm going to allow it to still pop through 660. I'm not getting in front of that size because nobody is selling to 59 right now. It's just not happening. Man. This order looks like it's going to get filled here on DDL. Of course, as I say that, people start hitting the bid. Ms. V?
Yeah, are we going to Ms. V?
Hey guys, we got a super chat from Discatronic. Hey guys, could you briefly explain what the minutes coming out tomorrow means and how to play the info that is going to be sad, guys?
Yeah, so we had Brainerd come out today and throw a little bit of cold water on some of these Fed talk and talking about, the risks to the downside and things like that. And then if you look at right here what that did, it was right about here, I believe. No, actually, it wasn't. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is 10:05, right? So it was, I was going to say 9:05. Remember, the futures traded over there in Chicago. We're going to get an hour back. But this is what happened when they threw cold water on it, right? So tomorrow, you're going to get the minutes of their meeting, and what it is just a combination of everything they talked about wrapped into one. You're going to see who disdained and who was for some of the raises and so on and so forth, and if there's any sort of talk. Remember that Jay Powell came and saved the day with his talk? Well, this is just going to be more about that. That's what he wanted to say, right? So now you're going to get, yeah, what's up? Now you're going to get, that's okay, man. This is a trading floor. It's fine. I thought you said Brendo, so I was like,
that's
okay. I was like, Brendan? No, anyways, what you're going to get, man, is you're going to get, you're going to see the dissension. You're going to see who's for and against some of that from the FOMC. And that's going to come out, I believe, at 2 p.m. It doesn't really move the markets unless there's something in there that people weren't expecting. But we'll be here. We'll be trading it. I don't expect it to be a big mover either way. But thanks for asking. Tomorrow is Fomc Minutes. And again, it's just like the meeting minutes, right? It's like the secretary sitting there taking down notes. So you're going to see some interesting things. And you could go back and see past minutes and do some little data mining. And you'll see it's not a big mover. But you'll see like Steve Leisman or guys like that on other stations will review it. And then if there's anything that sticks out, you will find that out from them. I'm a little bit, and thanks for the question, answer the super chat. I feel like this AMD is really sucky, man, because we were short there. Should be $1 into the money. People asking, is this a double bottom or anything like that on AMD? And honestly, if I zoom back in and out, there's really no levels down here, and I don't want to go long AMD because the market right now, I mean, you have a bottom, I guess, if you go back to April 1st, which is not too long ago, you did tick down to 106. So this might be worth a try here on a little bit of a bounce back. I don't know what the early mocks are or anything like that, but right now, I don't mind this long. Let's test it off 106 bottom. I think that's worth a test. Good shout out to whoever that was. And now we'll find out for AMD. I don't love the long, but it is bouncing nicely off that 106 bottom right there. An instant, like I'd take this. If you guys were long, I'd take some of this out right here into some consolidation again. If it comes back up to 107, we'll re-engage the short. But that was probably a decent long. But the name I like in a long is Facebook, right? So I go right back over there and see the same kind of a bottom. Although Facebook's been pretty sick in this move down. Here it is, taking out some nice levels. Let's see if Facebook takes this out, 232.50. Then we can work off that. That's still 231 bottom. I don't know. Let's test AMD longer rather than Facebook. This seems weak to me. I'm going to go back over to AMD.
Yeah, so that 660 did break on DDL. It just challenged the high of the day. I mean, the high of the day is 690. It got through 80 just now. Was able to get to, I'll give you the exact price. It got to 687. So very, very close to that all-time high, to the day's high on DDL after breaking 660. So it was able to get into the short there. If it can come back, it still has to get through that 660 breakout price, right? Like that's going to be a bit of a line in the sand on the way down into VWAP. The volume really picked up on it. So if this fails, this has a really good chance to break out, go through 7. And then when you go to the higher time frame, like on the daily chart, there is some room here to $8 on the daily. So with the 25 minutes to imbalance is 35 minutes to the market close, there's still going to be time that if this stops and breaks out through 7 even, you could get a move to $8. Very, very strong volume spike, and that's one of the keys. At the same time, we had a stop at SBFM that just went off, and that long might still be valid there. So that just took out 640. It looks like it's going to make a challenge at that high of the day. I'm now more focused on DDL. It just feels like it's doing a little bit better volume. And ever since that size showed up, there's just a little bit better volume. It's a much more movement at this particular time. You got to pick one here. I'm going to go with DDL. The market making a bounce. When I pulled up the futures, guys, there was really no obvious level that we just bounced off of for either the ES or the NASDAQ. So it's been a pretty weak day. If we're off a key support, I think I'd feel better about picking up a long somewhere on something that follows the market. I'm just not seeing it. Like Tesla's got a double bottom at 1090, and it's down 5%, but it's been relatively weak, and I'm not seeing anything on the futures that I like about the long here.
Yeah, and I say that, well, we've both been saying that we don't like the long, but I am testing into AMD. You guys said Nutx is open. This is why I'm not trading this. It's a $1.50 spread. Okay, $1.50 spread, a lot of trading on the inside. And honestly, no, hard pass for me on this name. And again, it's just a matter of share size. And if you could take it and you're comfortable trading this name, then go ahead and do it. But honestly, like if you try to get in and out of 500 shares or something here, I just don't know where the liquidity is going to be on Nutx, let alone if that's even a wise decision to trade at this point. I mean, if you take out some highs, like I don't ever have a problem going long some of these highs because there's air up there, but going long in the middle here, like one flush down to 29, and that's like that wipes out your whole day basically. So I don't want to really put any risk into that. So we are putting some risk now into AMD, and again, this is not sort of out of boredom or anything like that, but that bottom was there at 106. I think it's worth the shot right now. We're going to average in right now at 15 to take a bigger position. So that's going to be it. And then honestly, my stop is 20 cents lower. And if you don't know where my stop is going to be at this point, then I don't think you've maybe not been watching the show long enough. But if we get a 106.15 bid, then we're going to give it about 20 cents to the downside, breaking through 106, and the rest is history there. So if we're going to always go 1-to-1 on the first part of our trade, then if we're long right now 106.31, then we need to get this into the 50s in order to make a little bit of money on this trade to make it worth it on a risk to reward side of things. So this needs to get up to 106.50, which I think it can do. The 50 period is right there on AMD, and this is not a reckless trade. I mean, it would have been if I didn't look back here and see this bottom that was made just 2 days ago at 106 after a monster drop in, bottomed out there, and we're right at those levels again. But mind you, man, the futures are what's leading the story now. If these don't bounce, then it's DOA. And again, I don't know what's happening with the mock. Normally we get an update by now, but we'll get one soon to see what's going on with that. But if the mock is down to a sell, and by mock, I mean market on close orders, if that's a sell side, then yeah, AMD is probably not going to survive this move. But we'll go. We're long 106.31. We just, what we missed our average in there by? And you saw me, I was talking about it, went down to 17s there. So we're winning at 15s to get more shares long here for AMD.
Yeah, and there's a test right now just on DDL. It's starting to come back in. If it does not sort of fall down here, like if it just tests the high, put another wick top in, that's now twice. It's got some wick tops, and it has not been able to sort of follow through on the long side. This is what happened in the morning. But if it doesn't capitulate now at 3:30, it's probably not going to go. And if it does go, it's going to actually take out $7 before it falls down. And I said I didn't like Tesla. I know someone said 1090. Yeah, I mean, it's at the low of the day, and I fought Tesla enough today. It's my worst stock today, so I'm not going to go for it. Like, it's been a downward trend that I've been trying to take these little pot shots at the long, all session long. It's just shorting at the bottom. There's nothing key about the futures level here. I'm not really seeing it for Tesla, so I'm going to stay away from that particular name. DDL going to try to go. 10H is starting to come back up as well, so yeah, small caps, they can do this. When the market's going down, sometimes they catch a bid and vice versa. Like the names that were runners in the morning, if the market was bouncing, you might see them start to come in at the close. So you need to be careful. This one is not going through VWAP at this point. I'm going to get this one out if we get through that 69. I'm not even giving it to 70 even. It's just, it's grinding higher at this point. And I kind of wish I had gone back over to SBFM. That's the one. If you look at it, we got the stop out when it took out the high. And I'm like, oh yeah, DDL looks like it's going to be a little bit more volatile, more movement. And this is the one that's actually coming into VWAP. So it's probably the wrong call to get out and not get back into SBFM, which is headed to VWAP. We're not having that happen over in DDL, which is the other. Kyle M. just said I called 1117 earlier. Yeah, I dipped to like 1114 and went to 120. I just kind of showed the chart. Look, man, I will be the first to admit that I absolutely bungled a trade around that level. Remember I talked about the difference between getting in on the way down and sort of being patient enough to catch it on the way up? I just wasn't willing to do that. And when it came down the first time, okay, I got myself a 117 half price. It then took out the low. I got out. It made a wick bottom, just $1 lower, and then started shooting up. I did not get back in anywhere that I liked. And the next thing I know, it's going all the way back up to 1127. This is what I mean. Like, the price area was correct. I just did not get the execution right, which can be tricky at times. You're trying to essentially risk 3 or 4 on Tesla to make 10 because that's what the bounce was. Maybe it could have given you 15 at best. So it does matter where you get in for something like that. And I'm not going to jump back to the well. If the read is bad on it and I don't have a short when the trend is down, then I don't have to trade the stock. And there's plenty of things to go out there and look at, one of which should have just been immediately fading DWAC. Of course, we didn't do it. Oh. It's already back. It actually broke 48 and went to 47.5. Like, went to 50 on a dime and then dropped $2 on that news.
So I'm on tilt a little bit here. Why? First of all, whatever, guys. Like, there's a cash again here. So we'll go back to the well. Bang, there it is. Some money's floating out everywhere there. We get 15s out, some out at 30 there, as now we'll see if we can get another piece out at 30 if it rips back up. But the market is making new lows right now, so I don't, that's why I feel like we're at a carnival, because AMD is just like holding it right now. It's got me, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel why I'm sick is that we should never have got, I didn't realize I had another bid here and we got out twice out of that short. I would still like to be in the short, but there it is, making a little bit of money on the long there with our average price at 17, and we're about to get out for, like I said, a 20-cent hit on the downside. So if this can once again get back into the 30s, that should be okay. But into the weakness, like I just find it silly that if this pops in where I could take a decent amount of profit on these shares with the market right now, and I'll show this quickly, obviously you guys can see this, we're at the lows right now. This is what the market looks like here today, just like fade basically every single pop to the point where now we're down again, that 2.4%. You guys just saw Tesla. We talked about that name, and here we go. This looks like right now we'll be taking down, there it is, taking down, well, not yet, taking down the bottom here is possible, breaking through 16, and then we'll get out. So we relieved some pressure when we went into the 30s there, but right now it looks like AMD wants to take this out down back into the bottom of this range. So watch out, man, taking out that 116. And the reason, again, why we're in this name, and if I can zoom back out, it doesn't really matter at this point, but that's that bottom right there, 106. The ultimate bottom, and again, this is what I mean by different traders will trade differently. You know, the ultimate bottom for this name is going to be down here at 100. So if you're in an option or something like that, and you feel like this market has more to go, you're probably right to the downside about waiting for that call. So I would like to see tomorrow where AMD does wind up. For right now, we're battling around this 106 level, which I'm long in front of, but we're not going to be long for long if this does break. So watch out below on a breaker of 106 there. But if this gets back in the 30s, man, we'll take another spot out. And again, it's 15 cents back and forth here, and then we'll hold, see if we get a nice move up. Oh, just got it here from Prad. The mock is 200 to buy right now. So small little buy side. Come on, let's go. If we can get this up just a little bit more, we'll take some fills and get out of this name as we rip up to the upside now, taking some levels out there. There's an out at 28. Now we'll see if it can go up higher. So far, so good on this reload here of AMD. And all we're doing is scalping, guys. Like, remember, not holding this. Like, just getting in here at 15 and getting out a couple times here, that's 15 cents back and forth. Let's see if AMD wants to make a bottom here and then get back up to this level. Our next spot to get out, though, is 60, so we need this to fly a little bit higher, guys.
So I'll do this. We'll hit the flush down the floor. I'll show you, like, I'm gonna do this to the chart because I want to go back from one to the other really quickly. But 10H took out the lower high. Said I didn't want to hold it for 70 because if it got there, 70 cents, because if it got to 69, I thought it would get to 70 anyways, which it just did. The stop out in DDL was in front of the high of the day. That just stopped and then went to $7, which is obviously a round number. Got to 7 even, saw about 50,000 shares on the offer, and then it's starting to turn around here. So I'm back in front of it. This is I guess a much more simplistic trade, because if we break 7 even, it's just an easy out off of that price. But DDL starting to go here, 10H testing the high of the day as well. And of course, it's SBFM that went all the way back into VWAP. So here we are, $7 on DDL. If it breaks through, remember, this has room to $8 on the daily chart. So this is one where, there is, just got reversed. That's a little bit of slippage into 8 even. Sorry, 708, I should say, but it has room to go. And on the daily chart, you do have $8. It does stand out a little bit like a sore thumb there, but it's finally gone. Like, the volume was good on this. That's why we kind of went over to it. The volume was really good into that high of the day. So volume in, key level on the daily chart to work out. You can see it trying to churn to the upside now. Will it go? We'll see. I mean, I'm going to get some out in front of the quarters like we always do, and then into the 50s. Remember, no matter what, by 4 o'clock, like, I have to be out of. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Is there really 100,000 shares on the offer at 720? You've got to be kidding me.
Oh man, there we go. And I mean, I think that's a good example. Like, Neil, not really getting thrown around, but there's lots of size. Yeah, no, I see it there on this.
There was nothing on this offer. I was showing you level 2. There was nothing on the offer, and then where'd it go?
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
No, it's still there. No, it's still there.
Still there.
Yeah, go. Oh, I saw it at 20. It's there at 20.
It's there. It's still 100,000.
There it is.
So it has to get through that price. So I said get some out in front of the quarters because there's 100,000 shares at 20. Well, that very quickly changed to get some out in front of 20. instead of quarters. So I just took a third out in front of the 20 level, and you have to adjust that. Like, okay, 20 to 25, sure it's 5 cents, but you can't ignore the fact that someone's put size on the offer at that price. You take that price, you're gonna take some out scalping anyways, you might as well jump in front of an order like that instead of waiting for it to potentially break. And usually I like getting close to flat by 350. I understand there's 25 minutes left, but for a break, it's a little bit on the late side for a late breakout.
See, and that's the thing, right? Like, and we talk about education and things like that. You saw back and forth on 10H, back and forth on DDL there. You know, it's just, this is how we're trading it, or how Neil's trading it, and you can hold, get out, look at those levels. It's completely up to you, and use whatever kind of share size. Someone just said, and they were not cursing, but it's right here. What's up, Smooth Pranks right here, talking. And normally I won't show this because we don't really think that this is very good, but just lost $15,000 on Nutx and closed my position. Whether or not that's true or not, this is why like numbers really don't mean anything, because $15,000 to KJ Smooth might not be that much money, but $15,000, you know, to me losing that much, or to Neil, or to you guys, might be different than what it means to KS Smooth there, or whatever.
Don't let one trade end your career.
That's
my advice. That's my advice to traders. Don't let one trade end your career.
And I mean, right there, even on DDL, right? You took a couple hits, got out, got in, got so on and so forth, and it's about managing the risk, and that's the same thing that we're trying to do here every single day. But thank you for, you know, keeping it real, everybody out there. And like, that's why all I can do is tell you that, like, for me, this is not my game, Nutx. And it's just like, it is what it is. It goes up and down. As much as I hate that saying, you kind of know that this stuff is going to happen. So I just hope that traders that wind up losing a significant amount of money also are able to make it on the upside. And that's why I think it was Dinesh said something like, he did the math, and it was like 80% of the calls that I was able to make here on the show since he was watching were money-making calls. And again, if that's true, I don't know. I don't look at it from a percentage side of things. But again, if that's true, then that's the kind of back testing that you guys want to do for yourself, and make sure that, you know, if you are trading a DWAC with a lot of shares, or a stock like that Nutx with a lot of shares, that you are able to quantify the decisions that you make. And I think that that's the most important. And like right here on AMD, like I have my outs. It just ripped up to 30 there. We could have taken some more out. We didn't. And we're going to wait to see. Maybe there is a possibility to get this back up here into 106.60. I do have an offer now to get out in the 30s, because again, how many times are we going to see this? I'll take it out again if we get to like 35, but I do want to see AMD go back up to the upside here. We don't have a huge position on, but we have about 20% or so of our normal spot here, because I don't want to be holding a big spot when I really do think it's going to break lower. It's one thing if the futures were ripping higher right now, and I was like, no, this has to go. But I don't have the conviction right now that AMD needs to go upside. There's no reason for this thing to go up. It's been getting hit down. We can watch out for its brethren right here with NVIDIA. That's still downside as well. If that was ripping upside, then maybe I'd have a reason to watch out for AMD. But believe me, I'm trying to watch everything here. And if I start seeing one rip, then that will change my mind. But right now, NVIDIA taking down lows, crazy, as is AMD.
I knew this would be actually true, and I double-checked this for Nutx. By the way, before I get to that, like remember there was a 660 seller on DDL. I'm just reminding myself of this out loud and put it in the chat too. And then at 720, you then had another 100,000 share order, 200,000 shares at 660, just sitting waiting to get filled. Same thing at 720, now holding the high of the day. That leads me to believe like someone is unloading on this stock, or they're just YOLOing a gigantic short. The former seems a little bit more likely than the latter, but either way, it's going to be overhead resistance on the stock. But for Nutx, actually still restricted in the system for day trade the world, because when something has such a little float, there's so little of a float, traders that have lots of buying power because of leverage in a prop firm, there's a lot of risk having people able to trade a stock like that. So you got to understand, like we have to put a request in to be able to trade a stock when it's on that list. So I'm not surprised, because I know I wasn't going to request it because I didn't want to trade Nutx, and I guarantee you it looks like nobody else in the company even wanted to trade Nutx. Brendo?
Spirit Airlines halted, guys, on this note. JetBlue apparently with a bid for Spirit Airlines. So save, huge spike there to the upside, currently halted.
Okay, we'll figure this out. Yeah, Neil and I just talking about some of this market movement here as we go. And yeah, you know, that's another thing. We have rules here on a prop firm, so we can't, you know, just go crazy. And just by the way, Neil and I, like I would probably, I don't like when the market closes at its lows, of course, but you know, this AMD at 106 seems interesting, especially with that bottom of 100. I don't think we break 100 tomorrow. So if you can hold 6%, I don't mind this as a swing trade. Again, Neil and I have to be, the minute that bell ticks at 4 o'clock, unless we have a market on close order, like I did yesterday for Twitter, I think it was, they double check, man. Surveillance double checks our orders, make sure that we do have a pending offer or bid to get out of our shares because it's NEPA on holding something overnight. Okay, Spirit Airlines obviously is a New York name. Damn it, Sean. Hold on, got to change this over. If you ever see NY, that's New York, NQ, NASDAQ, JetBlue trying to buy these guys out. Obviously, the parts business has been a good one. And with Spirit Air, there's a nice move up to 22 bucks. And again, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. When you buy higher quality companies, like look where they were, man. They were 37 bucks back in the summer. So obviously, a bid to come through on a company. There we go. There goes AMD, by the way. Nice little win upside. I'm going to take a piece out of AMD at 29 if we can get it right there. Yes, we just got it right there. But I mean, this thing probably, if it's a realistic bid, I would say you probably need to go at least halfway back. So probably in the low 30s is where JetBlue's probably trying to take these guys down at. Normally you get a bump of about 60 to 70%. It's not a pharma stock, so I don't think like you're not paying for the cure to cancer or anything like that. But this could be bought upside there. Save Spirit Air. And look, airlines is obviously not, I have no idea what the proper valuation for Spirit Airline is, but someone who might is Brendan.
33 in cash, according to the New York Times. So that just came out there, right there. So New York Times, 33 in cash. Also want to mention this, guys. Rivian going to update their Q1 deliveries after market closes tonight. Rivian getting crushed today.
Wow, I just called that.
Of course it did.
I said that halfway back, we'd probably get into here, 32, 33 bucks. So, okay, that makes sense. We'll see what happens with Spirit Air. But on to the next right now, because here goes AMD. We talked about the risk associated with this. So there's a couple outs, man. We got our mid-30s. We got 29 as well. Now let's see if AMD, we've taken some pressure off this name. So making money on the short haters and making money on the long. So I don't know. I can't be called a bull or a bear today, although I am always bullish. My long-term account stays long for that name. But okay, here we go. AMD.
I was not expecting this to open back up.
We'll take out another 35. Oh, it just opened? Okay,
it
Spirit's
opened. I
open.
actually thought it wasn't going to necessarily open. It's at $26.
Yeah, 26, 27, and still trying to go higher. This is definitely a breakthrough long, man. 28 bucks long on Spirit Airlines. Probably something you want to watch. There it goes, upside. Just hit 27.88 there before falling back down. As you can see, this is pretty chaotic. So you either trade it and you're going to hold it for a buck or something. Like it's moving around multiple dollars right here as Spirit. Just to give you guys an idea of what's happening. This is a 1-minute chart. Obviously, the high of 28 is the only level that I would look to smash. Otherwise, I don't like the short. If there's a bid, and that's it. So 28 probably gets taken out at some point. I would not short Spirit, but again, up to you.
Why is somebody selling the living crap out of this thing at $27? Like, that was insane. I'm going to take more shares out of this. So it opened up, and I'm like, I did not expect this stock to open. Like, I was looking at it, I'm like, I actually went to the halt page to confirm whether it was a limit up or down, expecting there to see like a news halt on the stock, and instead they open it as a bit of a surprise. When you hear 33, my immediate thing is a lot of buyouts recently have been trading like, in the worst case, 10% premium off of the buyout price. So I thought, why wouldn't we be opening up above 28 and 28 to 30? Instead, this is getting sold off pretty heavily. I'm gonna put a stop at 26 and a half here, because if it starts to get through that, if something doesn't make sense, this is the best way to think about it. If something doesn't make sense, and I'm not really sure why it's trading here at 27 bucks and not between 28 and 30, then I'm just going to get out of it. But there was a jam shot. Like, it got above 26.50, and there it goes again. And there was just a jam shot there in the high 60s, 26.80s or so. When it started to blow through 27, it's like, oh my goodness, it's going to go. This could get to 30 bucks. And that was immediately met with what is still all kinds of selling at 27, 25, and now all of a sudden it's halted again. This might actually, I have a little bit left, but this might actually be a news halt, because that is not a volatility halt. This is probably a news halt now.
Yeah, they're probably updating the price.
Yeah,
would
see,
be my
this makes
guess.
more sense. Now we'll see. I want to see it. I want to see it come up here. That should not have been a volatility halt just now, because it was just barcoding off of 27, and someone was dumping shares. I feel like someone got 33 just doesn't feel right the way it just traded. Brendo?
Yeah, it's news pending now, guys. So, I mean, this might be done. We'll see. This might be a done deal. It would appear anyway. So the last number again, 33, which would total 3.6 billion. So it's a big one. If that's the actual number, we'll see.
Like it's going to go.
Yeah, yeah.
And then just somebody was like, okay, so it's now halted, but like when I said somebody was selling a bunch of shares, like it would go from 26.50 on the bid, going crazy, like not a lot of liquidity, and then the second it would get above $27, like the gap would open up and it would not get to 15, 20, and then just bam, sell, 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 and then you're back below 27, and then it would do the same thing, consolidate, and this is all happening in seconds, and then get above again, and then sell, 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 sell. And I'm like, why is somebody dumping this thing if there's a chance that we could be getting close to 28.30 if there's an actual 33 cash offer for the stock, right? So now it's halted news pending, which would have made sense in the first place. I have no idea why it wasn't halted news pending in the first place, and then opening up tomorrow, which would have made logical sense. And now it probably won't open up again until tomorrow. Yeah, at least there was that seller there that caused me to get out of most of it. I have literally 5% left of the position, but maybe I'll have it overnight, I guess.
All right, we're having tacos tonight, so shout out for Taco Tuesday there, but it's also chicken dinner winter time because AMD does exactly what we thought it would. And what was that, Coach? They are who we thought we were. The Arizona guy there, Green, I believe it was. They are who we thought they were. But there goes AMD right up to that 50 period. We get some out there, like we said, on the way back up. So now we only have 40% of our position now left, and that's 40% of the reload. So nicely traded to the upside there. That's, you know, took that profit on the spike back up. We now only have 2 minutes until the market on close. And no, Neil's not caught. It will probably open up. Well, it's a New York name. It should open up for one last print.
It's before 3:50. So like even at worst case, it's a news halt though, right? So it's not a guarantee, but it can open at 4, one last print. Yeah.
You don't have a full position. So that's the good thing about it. So and yeah, we can get caught in those, right? Sometimes you can get caught overnight in those positions, but again, I feel like you're long, right?
Yeah.
So
well, unless it's not true.
Like, that's true. It's true.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, no, it's true. Wasn't it reported by Wall Street Journal or something?
Yeah, like if it's not true, like that would be.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I like that trade. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Okay, let's go over to the mock right now. Again, like I literally save this. I do this, and then I go over here and I push save on my layout to hopefully that I don't have to keep doing that. But here we go. We'll watch out for this. And again, the mock is just, I talk about this every single day, and we're going to have Arun here next week. He likes to talk about the mock, so we'll do that more with him as well. But it's just an add up of all of the market on close orders, and they don't get published until 3:50. So in 50 seconds right now, they will get published, and these will all get updated, and then you'll see a move in the market. Remember, I have my outs already all scheduled, so for me, this shouldn't be a problem. If AMD comes out as a sell and takes down 106, then we will get out of that. If it goes back up to the upside, actually, I don't have any offers. We'll put an offer right now for this name back into the 40s and see if we can get something out in case it comes out a bid. So let's watch out. Here's the market right now. The last imbalance update we have is 400 buy. So again, that could switch. I don't know. I don't feel like it's a buy as the market's coming back into the downside. But if it is, with only 8 seconds to go, you'll see some action right here. So watch out. I'm not taking a position in the futures here, but you'll be able to see right here on the NASDAQ what's about to happen. And there it is. We are now out. So there it is. A nice move up for AMD. Yeah, buddy. We just took an out at 40 there. It looks like, oh, Apple, though, with a sell. Let's see what that does to the imbalance. Whoa. Let's see what that does here to Apple. That's a 20-minute chart. Unfortunately, there's the 1 minute. We have a tick there. That's no good. Let's see what else there is here. Citigroup. I don't see that much else on here, but we did take advantage. Look at the market bumping up, and there goes our AMD. Where the haters at? Your boy right now making 60 cents on this AMD trade to the upside. As she said, we like to go both ways. Upside right now. AMD rocking right now. 106.70. Here we go. Upside moves in AMD. Your boy's on one. Let's go.
Yeah, and you said Apple. Apple is the biggest one to the. Oh, good me. The chart's not loading. Give me a break. My chart doesn't want to load on Apple, but it was the biggest imbalance of all the real names. Like stocks that actually make a difference. SOS was on there. But Apple already is starting to pair off. It went from 1 million shares to 675,000. This chart does not want to load. Someone was saying in the chat, what happens if it doesn't, if SAVE doesn't open back up, there are policies in place. Like Day Trade the World has an overnight policy. If a stock halts and you're in position, right? Like understand, like you can't get out until it reopens. So in that case, you are holding overnight, and it's just something that can happen occasionally. Of course, you're supposed to cover. Because we're day trading, I don't get the option here. If it opens at 4, my order's in. Like I'm just going to have to cover on that reopen. That's just how it works, right? So you put that market on open or market on close order in this particular case when it does finally give you the opportunity, and then we'll see. If it doesn't open up, fine. If it doesn't open up, then we'll be getting out tomorrow, and if it does open up, then we're getting out probably at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, is Apple is halted? No, Apple's not halted, guys.
No, my chart just was being
Oh, your chart. Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
It's one of those. You know what happens.
We're at the highest spot we've been at all day. I told you in the morning that this was a big day. It turns out to be exactly that. As AMD pays the piper one more time. Nice little move to the upside, man. Look at this. Like, here's the longs. I want to give a shout out to whoever that was on the chat, because remember I was like debating going long on AMD, but we found that 106 bottom. And then again, right? Like part of trading is luck. And like, I didn't know the imbalance was going to come out to a buy side. I actually thought, based on this trend here, that we were going the other way to the downside. We get a nice little bump up, and there goes AMD now in the money, that 80 cents. Nice move back up to the upside here for AMD. So yeah, man, very, very nice. Let's go. We're going up to the upside right now. Nice little play here for AMD. So boom goes the dynamite here. And I hope, look, if you're not trading with us, I just hope you're having fun with the show, and that's really all that matters to us. Hopefully you're learning a little bit. You're seeing that it is possible to scalp and to make a little bit of money doing so, and that's that, man. Like, we're just, a bunch of family guys sitting here trading, trying to entertain and having a good time. So there it is, man. It's a difficult job, but we're here to do it for you. Live every day at 8:30. It's tradertv.live. There's another winner for you. Neil, hopefully that save opens up to a nice win for you.
Well, we'll see what happens. Like right now, I don't think the indicative price is going to matter. It is saying 26.93. I can't even, it's crazy. I try to load Apple, I can't. Nutx won't even load up. But the key thing, and you should always have this up, I think it's just sort of worth it, the NASDAQ trading halt page. So if you do see something that halts, you will get to know, like this, it is news pending, right? So there's a very good chance that this might not open up until after the market is closed or tomorrow. If this was a volatility halt, I can tell you 100% a volatility halt this late in the session is going to reopen at 4 o'clock. If it was a volatility halt, you get that one final print and it would be at 4. Then you'd have aftermarket trading. In this case, I don't know when it's going to open up, and I think for anyone out there, we have no idea when it's going to open up. Usually, this page will get updated when there's an indicative time or something along that line. The news, as far as I'm concerned, is kind of out. But as I say that, Brendan, what's up?
This is the actual article. I can show you the reason this all got started here. It's New York Times. That was the first to report that 3:37. This was actually published. There's nothing new in this. 3.6 billion would be the total. The other angle to this is, if you remember, Spirit already had a deal in place with Frontier. So what happens to that if they end up getting bought by JetBlue, I guess, is the big question. So that's the article, guys. Yeah,
so that would probably cause a little bit of disturbance in that. It's funny because
it shouldn't have opened the first time.
My kid's favorite color is yellow, and when we were in Miami there, he's like, "Oh, next time we're gonna fly Spirit Air because it's yellow." I was like, I don't know, but I don't think they even land here in Toronto. To be honest with you, I think they're just a domestic airline. So, anyways, Spirit Air. I could be wrong on that one. I don't know. But okay, right. AMD fall a little bit. We only have a small piece left, less than 10% of our total piece, but 10% of that last reload there. We'll get out if it goes back up into the 90s here for that name. And yeah, man, it's been a really good show. Thank you to everybody there who's been watching, and it's been a good one there. JetBlue going to Walmart with Spirit Air. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that is what it is, right? It's a discount fly there, so we'll see about that one. But here comes AMD right back up. If we get into the 90s, we will get out and then just cap off what was a great day, and I hope it was a good day for you guys as well. But it's not a good day for like our long-term portfolios, man. Like everything that I'm watching here, and you can watch along with me. Yeah, my quote board's pretty ugly today, as we'll sort it. Some names, though, like we talked about it, man, there's some 52-week highs in here, including Dollarama, which I own. We talked about that. AbbVie, which I own. Can't believe I sold some of that at 150. A lot of other names working, man. J&J's near 52-week highs. Rogers Communication, these are names that I own. Eli Lilly's a name that I've recently bought. That's at 52-week highs as well. And you already know my love for Enbridge, and ZEO is another one. But on the other side of things, look what's happening here. PaySafe down 10. Beyond Meat, I'm not in, just watching it. That's down 8%. Beyond Meat, I made a good money on that before. SoFi down 7, man. Tilray getting clapped, back down to $7. Told you about that Tilray, man. Rocket, Alibaba back down to 110. Like these are all big time names, man. All down like, and there's bigger names in here as well. Twilio in here, Peloton, Roku, Neo's in here, Fisker, PayPal back down to 117. So it's not a great day for the portfolio. So I advise you guys, do not open your accounts unless you have some puts.
With the long term, sometimes it's best not to look at it too often. Like when you plan on doing something, it's like, oh, I like this at that price, go for it. But if you're holding for 10, 15, 20 years, you don't have to watch it daily basis. As a matter of fact, that can kind of put you in a bit of a tizzy sometimes. And I just said tizzy. It happens. CLVS, if you're looking for something strong, I'll point out, I didn't mean to chuckle there, but CLVS, as the market's on the lows, right back at this 3 level, it'll be on watch tomorrow for sure, but remember, $3 is a nice psychological number, and it's great, it's even, but yesterday it did have a triple top at 310. So if I'm thinking about this take for a breakout trade, it's got to clear the overhead at 310 for CLVS to continue. Great break. Break, pull back, hard pull back into 2. And now you're seeing it look very strong going into the close. But it's at 310 that we want to watch for tomorrow's trade. Only 2.5 minutes to go. This has been a wild closing show. We'll see what happens with I don't expect Spirit to open up. If you're in save, news halts. Because it's
Hold on, let's just check out the imbalance locator.
It has not moved the indicative price at any point, right? Like it's been 26. It's not even shifting. Right?
I bet it's going to open for one last print.
We'll see. We'll see if it opens up for one last print at 4 o'clock.
Let's see if it's on here.
That's the only shot, but it's news based. Otherwise, I'd be more certain about it.
There it is right there. So save. Ooh. Yeah, there's not even that much interest here. So it's like 88,000 bid, 65,000 paired off. So there's about 140,000 or so in there on saves. So it doesn't look like it's, I don't know if you guys can see that there, but that's what you do. You can sort it. There's tons of names on here. Look, I mean, look at all the interest in all these names. You don't even know some of these. SBBA, what the heck's that? But anyways, I don't know if it's going to open up either, but we'll wait to see and just look at the size right now coming through. Is there anything that's left? We'll sort back up to the bottom. SOS, calling for some help right there. That's a sell. Mosaic has the downside move there. BP, that's a good name. I buy that for sure. And that's about it. So, all right, that's it. Let's go. We'll see. Continue to watch it. The show's almost done, man. A dollar away. It's a minute away.
When you're thinking in price terms, like
too much
it's what happens to you, man. Like you always talk about price levels, and when I do the same thing, and then like that verbal diarrhea comes out. But it's been a fun one. We're not going to be green on the day, but guess what? You do get to see Ms. V. She's in green. Tony and Ms. V are going to be on the bell. There it is. Tony the Tiger. I call him Tony the Tiger. Tony Toronto, whatever you like. But dancing it off as the market trying to bounce off the lows. Not quite there yet. But
the pepperoni man.
You see pepperoni, I don't know. Tony the Tiger, it works until it doesn't. The Candy Man, which we've also said, not that kind of Candy Man. The legit, actual kind of.
So just quickly, we only have 20 seconds to go, but someone asking what our positions are. They're at the bottom there, so Neil just has save, and I am out of AMD. I got out at 70 there of AMD, so I'm not in this name. As we now only have 10 cents to go.
Get it on there. There you go.
Right now, let's go. I don't know what Prad's cracking up over there, but 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's right. Tony Pepperoni tried to get the last one in there, but I see Ms. V took that down. So thanks for ringing the bell. Much better than that early bell that we had where Randy was hovering around and blew out our eardrums there.
That's still a problem.
Big shout out. As you can see, very excited to leave behind us right now. So let's go over to Brennan and see how we finished up.
If we must. Yeah, we gave back yesterday and then some for a couple of these. We can show you the NASDAQ here, 2.3 leading the way. Remember, we were up 2% yesterday, so there goes that. 1.3 for the S&P, 1% for the Dow. Yeah, it goes on and on. It was red, guys.
All righty there.
Well, it wasn't green, that's for sure.
Yeah, a lot of differences there. NASDAQ 2% down, ES 1.12. So there you go. Bitcoin holding up decently, so that's nice to see. Oil down that 3%, near 100. So lots happening. Did you or did you not get out of your spirit?
It's not opened up, so I can go back to it. Like, it's a news halt. Like I said, it's not going to open. My guess is I don't think it should have even opened in the first place, given the nature of the news and the fact that there is another bid as well. You know, and then they do the news halt. It'll probably, disseminate. Everyone can digest the 33 bid. Maybe you even get a response from both parties there, and then it'll open up tomorrow morning. In which case, works day trade the world. Like, it is the trader's responsibility to cover the trade. You just see it there tomorrow. But there wasn't a chance to get out, right? Like, it halted. There was no open back up. So we'll see tomorrow morning for Spirit. If it's not $33, that deal price, then I think it's going to probably head back down in like 23, 24, and that'll suck. If it's legit, I don't know why someone was dumping at 27. Maybe they know something I don't.
Yeah, who knows? But we'll see tomorrow. Good luck on that overnight. I think it'll be fine. And we'll see tomorrow. So join us tomorrow to see where Neil gets out of save. And I'm sure a lot of you guys might be caught as well. I think it's fine unless it's not real, in which case it'll probably just drop back down into that 24 area, honestly, because whenever there's smoke, I believe there's fire on that.
Yeah, it'll be higher than...
Unless Peloton, which had, that came and went there. But a big thank you today. I see Mark already doing work here as the show's over. He doesn't stop. So big thanks to Mark, and big thanks to Fahad, Lucas today as well. Trader Prad's over at his desk now, so we could give a shout out to him. There he is. What's up, Trader Prad? I don't think he's going to re-up that bleach, are you? That your dye, that's not getting re-upped. No, he's going to grow that out. No more blonde Prad there. But I did hear a nice play. Valeria's going to go to her yoga classes and try to find a hookup for Prad. So I think that's...
I heard that rumor too.
Is that true, Ms. V? Kind of, yeah, kind of. Okay, so we'll see. Thanks for Ms. V even doing work off the show for Trader Pratt. So a big thanks to everybody. Big thanks to the traders behind us as well. Maggie, Liz, everybody on the back, Rob, Randy, everybody that's working on the show. It's been a big show for us again here today. So I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about some of my rants, but I'll be back tomorrow again. So thank you. 8:30 tomorrow. Same bat place, same bat time. Here live on YouTube or tradertv.live. Check you tomorrow. Bye.